Welcome to Natural 6.
Yay!
This is episode 4 of our adventures in Reliquiae. Thank you for joining us. My name's Harry McEntire. I am your dungeon master for this and the potentially all future episodes.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, let's say hi to our heroes.
Hello, I'm Aoife Wilson, and I'm playing Dolly de Winter, the Tiefling Bard.
Hello, I'm Alex Jordan, and I'm playing I, the Kobold Rogue.
Hi, I'm Doug Cockle. I'm playing Kelmis, the Druid, the Dragonborn Druid.
Seamless.
I'm Hollie, and I'm playing the human fighter Indelian Rinnan.
I am Ben Starr, and I am playing
Panicking.
Radiant Combat. There's a wood elf wizard.
Do you feel like the kind of stakes are raised
I
every
couldn't
time?
tell you the pressure. Can we change it sometimes?
No,
Because I
no,
just-
I
I'm
don't
serious.
think so.
It gets
I
to
need-
Alex, and all I'm thinking is I'm not going to say my
I
own name
know,
correctly. I'm not going to say my own name.
Essentially, what we've discovered is Aoife and Alex are very safe pairs of hands. You can actually descend into chaos. And these are the opening moments. Some people, I mean, I don't know why you'd be starting at episode 4, but some people, this might be their first experience. And if I go, I'm Harry McEntire, I'm the Dungeon Master, let's say hi to our heroes, and you go, I'm
I think when we first spoke about how we were going to kind of plan everything out, and it was the idea that you guys were the kids, and then we were the adults.
somehow-
Not worked out that way.
It really hasn't. Really hasn't.
In game, I think it flips.
That's
But,
Yeah.
yeah, and then back in the real world.
I think we're all making bad choices, if I'm honest.
Also, yesterday I realised I said in the middle of a moment, I went, Radion, and then I literally inside went,
How about this was the thing where I was listening back to the previous episodes and the amount of times I change how I pronounce NPC names. Right. Without further ado, should we play some Dungeons and Dragons?
yeah!
Last time, you began in the aftermath of a landslide on the slopes of Mount Atria. And after the chaos of the previous day, the mountain peak, the blight, the death of the virtuous, all of which happened in a single day, you finally had a chance to rest and take stock of all that had occurred. I found a spot to camp, and Dolly confessed that in all her travels, what she'd experienced on Mount Atria was the first time she'd witnessed something that she couldn't understand. As the only members of the party not affected by the blight, I took Radian aside to see whether they could offer the others any help. And Radian shrugged off this suggestion, telling I that the party were out of their depth and that he was only staying with them because they were currently useful to him. Around the fire, Indelian, Kelnis, and Dolly spoke of what had brought them to the web, Indelian revealing that she had wanted to escape a life she led before. And Morgan suggested that rather than escape, the web merely offered a different kind of cage. And after being pressed by Dolly, he disclosed that he had joined the web to ensure he was able to, in his words, hurt the right people. It was Kelnis's turn to confide next, telling the others that the web had killed his family, but he also revealed that his family were not Dragonborn. And as the party began to rest, Radian took Dolly aside and thanked her for the gift of the daisy chain bracelet. Taking her into his confidence, he revealed that he had been struggling to sleep due to a whispering deck of cards that he carries in his pack. Dolly told him that when things begin to call out, it is a sign that they possess great power, and that power is hard to escape. As the rest of the party settled down, Indelian and Morgan took first watch, Morgan beginning to scratch the symbols of Ignas from his armor. Indelian questioned him on his loss of faith, and Morgan told her that having lost so much already, the death of his god had hit him hard. The pair challenged one another on the nature of faith, choice, and loss before they, too, finally got some sleep. And the next morning you descended, made your way down to the foot of the mountain and to the Festival of Benediction. And there you met Pollyanna, a junior cleric supervising the construction of a stage. And as she fussed and attempted to heal those of the party suffering from the blight, Indelian insisted that you be taken to Jasme, the cleric Barabask instructed you to seek out. Pollyanna led you through the hubbub of the festival with its traders, musicians, and worshippers until you found Jasme offering instruction to a group of young religious students. Radian immediately blurted out that the virtuous were dead, and Morgan handed her the letter Barabask had written. Jasme read that letter, her expression darkening. She asked if you had been sickened by the blight that now affected the mountain, and when you confirmed that she had, she gathered guards and escorted you away from the festival. As the sounds of revelry faded into the distance, you entered a forest glade far from prying eyes, and there Jasme rounded on you and with a whispered "I'm sorry" cast guiding bolt on Indelian. She called to the guards that you had tried to kill the Antiqua, and they too leapt into combat. As the fight began, Dolly appealed to Jasme to stop her attacks, insisting that the party had nothing to do with the deaths on the mountain. The cleric seemed in turmoil, stepping back and observing as Morgan roared a battle cry. Indelian added her appeals to Dolly's, yet with little effect. Radian tried to use hypnotic gaze, as per, but Jasme was angered by his attempts to deceive her with magic. At last, Dolly's words seemed to land, and Jasme threw her the letter which Barabask had written. After reading it, Dolly made one final plea for reason, and the cleric at last commanded that the guards cease fighting. She cured Dolly, Indelian, Kelnis, and Morgan of the Blight, and told the party that she would report their deaths back to Barabask. With that, she departed, leaving you alone in the forest glade. And that is where we are now. The snow-covered canopy, nothing but birdsong. The sounds of the Festival of Benediction far, far away from you. As you take in what just happened.
He's just cleaning Mateus's blood off the tip of his arrow that he's just little, just pops it back.
Just gonna go and pick up my dagger and re-buckle it to my hip, and sort of leave down this letter that I still was hanging on to.
And I goes over. I is just gonna pick this up and in my pouch.
So take the scroll case, which is the scroll case of the Antiqua, Barabask, and put it in your pouch. So you now can add that to your inventory, that you have a scroll case.
You gonna sell it?
Just gonna throw it at someone.
Bullseye.
Morgan, again wiping the blood from his sword on the grass, the blood that he got on there when he decapitated a man that accidentally then got healing worded back to him. Says, draws himself up to his full height. Indelian, roll an insight check for me, please.
That's just a flat 14.
Flat 14. You've probably had more interactions with Morgan than anyone, particularly after your conversations around the fire last night, and you sense a change in him. There was, after the fight on the plateau with the wolves, when you first discovered the what was afflicting the mountain, he has seemed consistently wrong-footed. Like he couldn't, like he's sort of tripping and can't get his feet underneath him. But now you look at him, and he's drawn up to his full height. He looks solid. He looks determined in a way that you haven't seen before. And he looks to you, Indelian, and gives you a little nod, and then looks at the rest of you and says, "I must depart. My instructions were to escort you to the peak of the mountain. We've done what we were instructed to do. This is where I leave you."
What will you say?
To the spinner, I'll tell him what we saw.
We are dead.
That makes you more useful to the web. He's already been kept abreast of much of what has happened. Good luck on the road ahead.
And then I guess Endelian would just smile and say, "Good luck, Oathbreaker."
Sort of tips his hat to you almost.
As he walks away.
I think Kelmis wants to walk up, does walk up to Morgan?
Yeah, Morgan.
Complete brain fart.
I like that Kelmis hasn't known what he's
And just goes, Morgan?
Is
it Morgan?
Or
It's
you've
Morgan,
been
right?
working with someone for too long, and you're like, I can't ask now. That would be incredibly rude. I have to wait till someone else says his name.
Yeah, Kelmis goes, "It's been a pleasure, Alan."
Yeah, he walks up and goes, "Goodbye, Oathbreaker. Send my regards to Mrs. Breaker."
Kelmis walks up to Morgan and shakes his hand and says, "May there be more trees in your life to climb."
Oh,
Oh, that's nice.
as he walks away.
With easier trunks to scale.
Yeah.
Sort of nods at you.
I was going to say, as he walks away, I thinks to himself, seeing this man now, and thinking that maybe he lost his powers because his god died, and thinks, if his god was not dead, he once climbs the tree.
And you see Morgan head back out of the glade. Oh, bye! heads out the glade. Sort of back in the direction, kind of the festival, but you got no real sense of where he's going. And it's just the 5 of you now, alone in this forest glade, he said, deleting Morgan from his D&D Beyond account.
So,
I's going to miss him.
It's too bad we're dead. I wanted to sell some spoons in that market.
We is only dead to the Antigua.
yeah.
Gesturing at the through the trees, sort of toward in the direction of the celebrations.
They does not know we.
Could we? Should we?
A pertinent question.
Yeah.
I can just put on a hat.
Hood up.
Ears immediately go through it.
I mean, it's been a rough couple of days. Party wouldn't be too bad.
Classic radiant.
We do kind of need to go to Baruun, though, don't we?
Yeah.
But this way there is many supplies.
I mean, we don't know what's waiting for us in Baruun either, do we?
So Dolly and Delian and Kelnis, you would know that Baruun is about a day southeast of here. You have to make your way through the forest, then cross a river, and then through another sort of patch of forest, and then Baruun.
I thinks for what lays ahead, we need supplies.
Does anybody have any gold?
I has
Does anybody have any
slippery fingers.
Yeah, you'd all have some gold. You'd all have an amount of gold based on your character background when you built your characters.
Not spending it on you lot, but yes.
After all we've been through.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to a short rest.
At the festival?
we will party, you will sleep.
Yeah, no, I
Quick nap.
definitely. I took a beating, so wouldn't say no to a short rest.
We can't go back to the festival.
Why?
We cannot go back to the festival. They'll find us.
So boring in the forest.
Eyeballs it up and goes,
On the way to Baruun, there must be some place that we can stay, some town, something.
You would know the roads around here. You might hit the odd homestead, the odd individual farm, or little kind of very small communities. But people didn't tend to build towns and cities this close to the forest. Alvelian was very much the place. And then there were the forests that surrounded it. And when they founded Baruun, it was because it sat at a confluence of many things. It was kind of arable land for livestock, but also you could grow crops there. It's not too far from the river. Like, it's a really kind of, it's situated very intentionally. So there wouldn't be large conurbations that you'd pass on your way there, but certainly there might be the odd tavern.
Tavern, a traveler's inn.
Travelers in, that sort of stuff would certainly be possible. Even within the forest, you might find something.
We'd be safer travelling along the road, resting at a tavern where no one knows about us, knows who we are, knows that we're alive, or knows that we're dead.
I hate logic. Fine, I hate being dead so far, but only a festival.
It's all right. Get used to it. Let's get moving.
I know of a traveler's inn. About half a day's journey from here. On the way to Baruun.
Roll me a history check.
Eight.
So you do. There's one called the Old Oak, which you know sits within the forest, about half a day from here. And you can kind of vaguely remember the direction. It's kind of towards Baruun.
Shall we make our way to the Old Oak? To Traveler's Inn?
Yeah, I guess that makes the most sense.
I just staring longingly through the trees at the party that's happening and just goes,
Roll me perception.
Oh, is that cocked?
No.
19.
So you just hear like a carried on the thing, and you hear like, "Is that inflatable? Look at the colours!"
I literally has a single tear. Just rolls.
We're splitting the party, so...
Yeah, you hear someone shout, "Is that all caramel?"
I literally turn around and just goes,
It might speak caramel.
I feel like I would have a sweet tooth. I feel like sugar is in short supply. He's like a walking E number. Like
You'll owe I a caramel.
Can't we give them an hour?
I'd like a caramel too.
It's very, very stealthy.
Fine, we give them an hour.
You have 1 hour.
You have 1 hour.
Okay, cool. Okay.
You have 1 hour, and then we leave.
Yeah. Okay. And we'll leave with or without you.
Okay.
I immediately just wipes away the tear and it just dry eyes immediately. Just like the pure joy means that it's not like it's sort of like gradually dries up. No, boom, immediately dry.
So Endelian and Radiant and Kelsey, you're going to go with them?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So by this point, you make your way out of the glade, and the first thing that you kind of... Morgan is gone. The figure of Morgan is gone. He's somewhere in the forest. He's somewhere. But you can, of course, make out and see the tents and the various accoutrements of the Festival of Benediction. And as you saw before, the smoke is curling out from the gaps in between the canvas and these brightly coloured bell tents. And the closer you get, the more you smell so you hear, "It is caramel!" Like you smell the sugars and the roasted meats, and you
I
see
turns around and
children.
just goes, and repeats, "It is!"
How do you want to be? I mean, are you just kind of trying to walk in?
Well,
No.
immediately, can I see, is there any sort of fashion, with the cloak that I have, any sort of styling, anything like that, which would blend in the most and be the least, like, observable?
Roll me a perception check.
That's 17.
Okay, so the first, as you approach, you get to that first tent that you were led through by Jasme, and there were these white-cloaked orderlies who are, or white-robed orderlies, really, who are sort of, I guess, for want of a better term, like logistics and a welcoming committee. And you see that would be an option for you to take on a white cloak. You know that the guards wore blue cloaks, and that you have the various delineations of cleric. You also would recall that you didn't see any kobolds here. But when you can see the kind of the crowds that are gathering, waiting to be let in, you can see in other areas, you know, as people are running round and like revelries happening, you can see that there is a good representation of all of the peoples of Reliquiae. So there isn't, unless you want to go down a very much like I am a member of staff here, you can kind of get away with anything.
Okay, great. Then in that case, I'm not gonna run the risk of any, because it doesn't make sense for me right now to be like, let me put myself in a position where someone might come up and ask me something.
Do you know what doesn't make sense? Going back to the
Caramel.
And Alex, yeah, exactly. Alex will either turn to Ben and say caramel.
Yeah.
Not to Radiant, to Ben, caramel.
Someone going, the butter is grass-fed.
We all know, thematically, Ben would love to go. All Ben wants in the world is to go back to the festival and the caramel. That's where we're going back.
So are you making your way stealthy? Are you going to go in through this first tent, or are you going to try to sneak through the?
I think we want to go. We don't want to go through the tent.
But
People
equally,
know
is
us
there
there.
something suspicious in trying to go around or through, or is there
People
something?
sneak into festivals all the time.
But is there something utterly in purely acting like you're supposed to be there?
Yeah, but they know our faces.
Not all of these tents are closed-sided either. So you can kind of see into the various areas. It's like I can't think of a better word. It isn't parapets, but it's essentially they're almost roofs, rather than dropping all the way to the floor and guy roped in and that sort of stuff. So there is absolutely the opportunity to move in and out. You can see that there are certain people who, with drinks, are kind of meandering out of the tents. It's very cold, is the only thing. It is dolly to winter rather than dolly to spring. So, we are kind of very much in territory where people, generally speaking, are staying within the comfort of the tents, and there's braziers lit, and the kind of the cottage industries that have sprung up in this makeshift city.
Okay. The cape that I have, how is it? Oh, is it purely kobold-sized?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You don't, because you have a hood. You have a hood. You
get a hood. You get a hood.
Do you have a hood?
Yeah, I've got a cloak, so
Brilliant.
I've got a hood.
In that case, then I think I turns and I kind of gestures towards the hood and suggests that maybe we all sort of just at least hood up so that our faces are somewhat obscured.
So you are. I'm gonna get you guys to roll stealth checks. I'm going to say anything below a 10 is a fail. Anything above is a pass, and anything and that one is 2 fails, and anything above a 20 is 2 passes. And essentially, it'll just be you'll need 3 successes. And this isn't about you trying to sneak in. This is about you just sort of trying to blend in, right? So, Radiant.
18.
18, 1 pass.
15.
2 passes. Kelnis. 14, 3 passes.
15.
Great.
22.
Okay. Right. So you join in the throng of people that are kind of moving through this initial area, and it's very much the case that some people are stopping and asking for advice, and you see like a little halfling family where the kids are kind of running around the feet of the parents, and you can hear like the what looks like one of the fathers is trying to like grab them and corral them, and the other father is kind of going, is there actually a good place for the young'uns? They get a bit high-spirited, you see. You can hear all that sort of thing happening. There are people who are embracing each other like old friends. This for a lot of people, this is a kind of a reunion. People make friends at the festival, and then a year later they're reunited, and what that allows you to do is just sort of put yourselves among the throng and really with great ease slip through this first area, and then you are into the market, the great market that you were quite swiftly led through. There are, you can hear music, and you can, all of these market stalls are sort of open-sided. People are, it looks like a great cauldron of corn that's like of popcorn that's being made, like kettle corn that's being stirred, and you can smell butter and sugar that's being mixed through it. There's spiced wines. There's a lot of kind of that wintry, nourishing stews and smoked and roasted meats. There's like spices, like you can smell like cinnamon and nutmeg, all these sorts of things in the air.
Come on, an hour ago we were blighted and dying, and now we're dead and no one knows. Great!
When you was dead, calories don't count.
So we're here. What do you want to do?
What do we want to do? Well, there was a big thing of corn. I want some corn.
I would like to try the corn.
Yeah.
So you head up to the corn, and there is the corn pot is maybe 2 or 3 foot high, and there is a gnome on a little 2-step stool stood at the top of it, stirring it with like this great big paddle. Has this sort of little tufty, twirly golden beard, which looks dyed, and then purple hair, which also looks like home dyed. Roll me. Who's going up to see little popcorn gnome? Everyone roll.
No, I'm not. I'm good.
Those who are, roll me insight on popcorn gnome.
18.
18.
It is 11.
11.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. Dolly and Radian, you very much get the vibe that this is someone who dyes their hair in lieu of anything to talk about and having a personality. So sort of as you walk up, the gnome sort of goes, huh? Points at his own purple hair. Is like, I know. You won't be the first to say it. What can I do for you?
Oh, wow. I think my friends and I, how many were at? 1, 2, 3, 4.
No. I has immediately seeing that it's a gnome. I has just slipped off round to the side, like while the gnome is discussing. Can I try and...
Roll me a stealth check.
Yep. That's a 27.
Okay, yep. So you slip away. So
Okay.
no. So you're unaware of this at this point. No one is aware that I has disappeared. And as Dolly's going, he's going, oh, just the 4 of you, is it?
No, I'm.
Oh, just 3 of you.
Apparently
Just the 2 of you. Is
it's
it?
just so silly. 3. No popcorn for...
Oh, that's some corn, yeah.
Yeah.
As this is happening, like as this whole conversation, can I see if there's any sort of like little, where he distributes, where it's sort of like a flap that opens and pours it out?
It looks like what he's going to do is you see that there are these sort of Hessian bags, and he has this paddle, and he also has like a little scoop that's on a table next to his little stepladder, and you can assume that he's going to scoop into the little Hessian bag.
Okay. I would like to, using Mage Hand, I would like to
Your hatred of gnomes.
take the scoop
Yep.
for myself.
Yep.
First of all, like while he's talking with these guys, scoop some of it and just bring it over to myself, and then just sort of basically remaining hidden. So when he turns around, he has nothing to distribute, and I have some popcorn.
So roll me a stealth check to try. This is going to be a high stealth check. Go on. What was it?
It's 17.
Okay, it's 17. So I'll say that allows you to get round and you can get the scoop in. Roll me a sleight of hand with disadvantage, because I think at some point he's going to look down at the thing. If you're trying to empty the entire cauldron, it's 3 foot high. It would probably
That
take
is a
you
19.
A 19 with disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's a slippery lizard.
so this popcorn gnome is going a complete. He's gone. Right, 3, and then he goes. Don't ask about the hair.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun.
I had to do something for the festival.
Well, yeah, it's a big deal, right?
Actually, every year I do a different colour. So last year it was also purple, actually.
Oh, you're definitely in autumn, right?
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah. Actually, it's the purple year before as well. Probably should think about mixing it up a little. And he's not noticing that as he's doing this, you guys can see this scoop emptying the popcorn. And he looks down. And as he looks down, your scoop is midway through scooping. Must have dropped the old scoop in there. What am I like, eh?
Long day,
Yeah,
isn't it?
grabs it. That's absolutely. We really need to get some more corn on. It's 2 copper.
Okay.
2 copper for a little
scoop,
bag,
little scoop.
a little bag of corn.
I'm over his shoulder.
have a sack of corn.
Eyes over his shoulder, just going like this.
This one's got the money.
Suddenly I'm not hungry.
Oh, well, no, I'm done. It's clear it's been a good day for me, eh? So I won't worry about that.
Thank you so much. You've been so helpful. Thank
Well,
you.
and may the benediction bless you, and may the virtuous lessons lock themselves into your hearts for the coming winter,
And
to
also
sustain you
have
through the
some.
cold.
They will.
Yeah.
Well, fare thee well. I can't believe I keep
It's
dying. It's
so silly.
sometimes I catch sight of myself in a still pool or the edge of a blade, and I think, what are you like? Just goes back to stirring his corn.
Or absence of.
Yeah, goes back to stirring his corn. And,
I sort of makes his way back round to the party and just opens out the bag and just offers it around.
It's more. It's a kernel of corn for every spoon that Kelnis has whittled. It's a staggering amount of corn.
Okay. No.
Hate fucking gnomes, man.
I'm gonna do, yeah. So when they're walking, Radiant physically grabs Ai, grabs him on the shoulder, and says, "What did I say to you earlier? I said that I keep you around because you keep me alive.
I keeps you fed.
Ai, this is incredibly irresponsible. I let you come back for 1 hour. 1 hour, and if you'd been caught, what would have happened? They would have called a guard. A guard who would have told someone else, who would have told someone else, and then we would be fighting someone in the middle of a glade again, trying to convince them that we didn't kill the Antiqua or the gods or whoever they think.
Or steal the popcorn.
Your games are fun and they are funny, and people seem to find you amusing in some way. I do not find you amusing. I find you irresponsible and dangerous.
Roll me persuasion with disadvantage.
I was about to say I've got something bad to say.
Yeah, sure.
A 3.
Can I get lower?
And then I want to look back and say,
You is not telling me you did not enjoy this.
What are you rolling?
sorry, but to, like,
Oh,
sorry.
You
I
can
thought-
roll an insight. You can roll an insight.
Okay, 19.
19. Yeah. Is there any part of Radiant that has enjoyed this?
Yeah.
You see through the sort of mask of sort of paternal, sort of fatherly disapproval to an elf that, in his heart of hearts, is hungry for corn.
Yeah, and so as I say that, I just take Radiant's hand and just pour a little bit in and just wink and then carry on moving.
Radiant takes the corn and puts it in his pocket.
He didn't throw it in. He didn't throw it in anything this time. He didn't.
I
Heard him
fancy
die.
some mulled wine. Is there any mulled
Yes.
wine around?
Yes.
An incredible moment of player and character synergy as Delia and Hollie have the chance to have some wine.
A hard glass of wine. That's the only reason I've come back to the festival.
Yeah, this popcorn's kind of dry, actually. We could use some more.
So,
I just okay.
Kelnis and Endelian, can you please roll me perception checks?
That is for me. That's just an 11.
26.
26.
We're getting wine.
So, Endelian, you like there's all these spices. You're kind of overwhelmed by it. You think you can smell something. You know that slight astringency of alcohol on the air that you're like, oh, I think I'm getting something. And Kelnis turns like a kind of like a
my nan in
a
Marks
weather
and
vane, just
Spencer's.
boom, towards the wine, and you can barely keep up with him as he just plows towards.
I smell cinnamon and nutmeg.
And you reach an elf, a very sort of what once would have been like quite an elegant looking elf, but you see they have this kind of scar, this kind of almost beautiful sort of white scar that leads down below one eye, and that eye is kind of half closed, almost as if something a long time ago ran over one of those eyes, like a blade went over one of those eyes, but still has this kind of this very like elfin beauty, these high cheekbones. It's a female elf, and she is working on a little sort of bubbling stove of this beautifully aromatic spice mulled wine, which you can detect as well. That's been fortified. Like they've put a spirit in there as well to kind of give it a little bit more body and heft. Yeah, and you can see that you with that ridiculously high perception, you also can hear there's a couple of dwarves, and dwarves have this history of kind of thinking that everyone else, they're brewers, dwarves. They love the kind of the sort of the noodly hoppy ales and all this sort of stuff. And you can hear a dwarf who taking a sip looks to another dwarf and goes, "I got to tell you that actually is fantastic," in like a hushed tone, as if they don't want to admit that anyone else has done something better than they could. And this elf looks at you, and says, I take it you have a hankering for something spiced.
And I say in Elvish, yes. Yes, I would like 5 cups of your finest mulled wine, please.
This elf is like ever so slightly taken aback. She says, may I say, you speak the tongue flawlessly.
Oh, thank you very much.
It sounds, what? Roll me a persuasion check with advantage. So roll twice and take the highest.
3 and 10.
A 10. A 10. She says, always do a little discount for a friendly face. And she pours out these 5, into these 5 sort of rough-hewn wooden goblets. And you see, they're kind of, they've been kind of mass-produced and produced very quickly. But this beautiful, almost syrupy, mulled, spiced wine. And she says, that's 15 copper to most. We'll call it 10 for you.
Thank you very much. I hand her 10 copper and a spoon.
10 copper and 10 copper and a spoon. Okay, roll me a
This is one of my recent ones.
roll me a sleight of hand check to see how well made that spoon is.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah, to see how well you've kind of worked the wood.
I love the idea of serving the copper on the spoon.
Oh, it'll be fine. Yeah, you're right.
8. Sorry, I was doing maths in my head.
What I really
It was
liked was
terrible.
that I was watching. I obviously can't see what you've rolled, but I heard Hollie go, "Oh, it'll be fine," and then you rolled, and she went, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "This is going to be high." And
Yeah.
you were then calculating and went, 8. Okay, it's one of your worst spoons, but everything's relative.
Wait a minute.
But a gift
wait a
is a
minute.
gift.
I have a skill
Yeah.
called spoon carving, and I've got plus 10 on that.
Oh, the traditional
Right there.
spoon.
Right there.
That's amazing. That's phenomenal. Let's show the camera.
It's like so. It's a really bad.
Show the camera.
It's a.
Have you actually?
Yes!
What are you talking about?
It's right there.
there.
Dex.
Oh, you customised your
That's
skills. That's despicable.
It's not despicable. I didn't give it
did
like
plus
sex god
10.
or
You did
anything
it
like
plus-
that. I just said it was a
You
spoon
did
carver.
plus 10 on... Right, okay.
He's a spoon carver.
carver.
He's great
The
at
guards
it.
arrive. Barabas says, "What the hell are you doing here?"
God, guys.
So you hand her the spoon. My God, they're cheating. You didn't know it was possible.
Right, I'm plus 10 on being a badass.
You don't need to roll any higher in that.
You hand over the spoon, and she says, a gift. Thank you. I will use this spoon for
I'll put it on the fridge.
eggs, maybe eggs. Thanks ever so much.
I attach a little magnet to the back of the spoon and just
And
stick
stick it on the fridge.
stick it to your pot.
That's really good. Thanks.
He
That's
crits
excellent.
on the magnet.
So she hands you these 5 cups of spiced wine.
Cheers to being dead.
Yes.
Endelian, it's phenomenal.
Thank God.
It's so it's
Anything would have been good, quite frankly.
it's this kind of rich, warm, syrupy. It's like, when you're a kid and you get given Calpol and you're like, nothing's better than this.
Yeah.
It has some of that sweetness and that kind of almost like thickness, but it also has this like beautiful, like warm burn on the way down, and the spices are like really forward in it. You can that cinnamon and clove and anise.
Like alcoholic cough syrup.
Yeah, like alcoholic cough syrup. And it's it's pretty damn fantastic. And as you're there, you see all these revelers, people milling around. You can hear music. I would say you've been here for about you've been here for a good sort of 50, maybe about a good 20 minutes since you first came through.
Can I have a little look around? What I would like to see is that if there's anything, any stall that is not sort of food, drink, blah, blah, something that might be in possession of some gear that a traveller might, just general traveller's gear that could be useful.
Traveller's gear, good.
Yeah, for adventurers.
Okay. Yeah. Let's have an investigation check to see what you can find.
That's 5.
That's 5. So the majority of stuff here is to do with that. There's a lot of trinkets. There's a lot of stalls where you can buy little wood or stone or silver or gold scales of ullin, or where you can buy a little, you can buy little sets of like the horns of Alakash, and you can buy little religious symbols, because this is primarily a religious festival. And there's others that are like seasonal crafts, like little carved wooden, figures of families that people like to put on the hearth. And there's clothing. The only thing that you maybe see is that you might see like that you could get like a thick winter travel cloak. But other than that, it's a bit more almost touristy.
Okay.
Calmus, how many spoons have you got on you right now?
I have...
Roll me a D100. So that's a
D100?
a D10 and yeah.
50.
You have, you got a 0.
That's just what I've got. That's, yes.
And then what did you get on your 10?
Oh, I didn't, well, what,
Yes.
a 10 as well?
Yeah, so roll a D10 as well. So that's essentially you roll for 10s and you roll for the units.
Oh, 9.
59. You have 59 spoons on you.
Okay, is that what I've got, or is that what I've got?
That's what you've got on you.
Because Radiant has some as a
That's
backpack.
how many you.
Dolly
That
keeps
is
stealing them.
that is how many you remember carving. in
59.
fact.
Okay.
So roll a Dolly. Roll a 2d12.
Okay. 1. 12.
12 of those are in Radiant's bag at the moment that you're aware of. So within your pack, you have 47 spoons.
Okay. Why is this important? I forget.
Because you have a plus 10 to carving spoons.
Well, Dolly, you wanted to know about the spoons, right?
Step right up and get your dragon-crafted spoons here.
Oh, excellent.
Archie, over here. Put them out. Get them out. Get them out of your bag.
I lay my
cross-
cloak down on the floor and I set out my spoons.
I cross silent image of just a little stand with writing on it with spoons.
Roll me an intelligence check. So just use your intelligence modifier. I would suggest. Oh, you might have proficiency actually. You have proficiency in intelligence saving throws, right? As a rogue.
Correct, but I mean, yeah.
You can add your proficiency to this.
Okay.
Well, it's
So it's a 16.
a 16. You spell it correctly.
Oh.
You spell it correctly. You have no written language.
No, yeah.
So with-
That's what I was about to
with
say.
the Z
I was
at the
fully
end.
expecting. I thought.
the S's are backwards.
Okay,
One of the
cool.
S's is backwards, one of the S's
it's
isn't. And
trying
weirdly,
so.
both the O's are backwards, but no one can really tell. So you create like a little. Let's have a persuasion check from Dolly. Not using the ring that allows everyone to hear you for a mile, I see.
We only have 59. We
Yeah.
Don't want everyone coming.
23.
23. You immediately start to gather a crowd of
It's not what we agreed.
of revelers, a crowd of worshippers. Roll me. Right, doesn't Endelian roll this for the party? Just roll a d20 with no modifier.
Got a 16 out of me.
Okay. A few guards kind of come over and have a look, but you don't see anyone in brightly coloured religious robes. And you start to set up your wares. Did you say you lay your cloak down or you lay your bedroll
Lay
down?
my cloak down and place my spoons out. I take 2 of them and I try to play the spoons.
Roll me a performance check.
I carve them. I don't play them.
So essentially, for every one of these
14.
successful checks, 14, that'll do. So for a 14, so that's 2 successes. He's got 48 spoons, which essentially will represent with 4d12. For every one of these checks that can be successful, we will add another d12 to the amount of spoons you're able to shift in the remaining time that you have at this market. So you have 2. So let's say anyone else who would like to... So we've had a persuasion check. We've had an intelligence check, which I think that's kind of part of the same thing.
Okay.
So we've got 1 roll potentially for Endelian if you want to help sell spoons.
Oh, no.
And 1 from Radiant if you want to help sell spoons.
Absolutely not.
No.
No, I don't want to be involved in any of this.
What are you doing in Delhi? Just sipping your wine? like kids are in the pool. I have had a busy
that
week.
glazed over, where is the au pair kind of money stuff?
I don't know. They're shouting, but it sounds like fun shouting for now. I'll wait till someone screams.
It's that cloak is just up, and it is just
Okay.
trying to just not draw attention
Radiant,
to
how
myself.
about you?
So I think Radiant feels like he needs to supervise this. And so he's kind of like shuffled over to Dolly and goes, "What are you doing?"
Making us money.
I
You want to
said-
go to Baruun and not have any money on it?
I said you could be here for an hour. Now you're
This
going
will
to...
take 5 minutes.
You have one more hour.
What?
One more.
You have to make as much money as you possibly can in the next hour, and then we're gone.
Obviously.
Okay, so I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll add an extra D12 for the amount of time that you're going to stay here for. Roll me another luck check, Radiant, to see in that extra time whether or not something comes up.
Oh, God.
Raw, nothing.
Oh, 7.
A 7, okay. So let's roll 2d12, Doug, for how many spoons you are able to shift before, for how many spoons you're able to shift.
17.
17. And I'm going to say you have plus 10 to spoon carving, so that does make things easier. I'll say...
Every long rest, I carve spoons.
Right, good.
This is incredible.
I will say that your spoons. Some of them we've established are really beautifully made and beautifully finished, carved handles and some sort of ornamental fretwork. Some maybe with little grooves in them, so that you could take something that's cooking in water and remove it and allow the water
Some
to
are
drain
sporks.
through. Some are sporks.
Yeah.
You've invented the spork. Congratulations. I will say that you can sell each of these for, on an average,
Some of them are better than others.
two silver. I think some of
Okay,
the best you sell for gold. Some of the worst you can only sell
Some
for
of them
copper.
are sporks on one end, and the other end is like a crude wooden knife kind of thing. It's
Wow.
kind of serrated.
So it's the
like a
original triple
multi-tool.
threat. Right? It's like the singer,
it's
dancer,
like
actor
the
of the
original
utensil.
multi-tool, yeah.
It's the original. The scaly man that you've
Yeah,
created.
that's right. Yes. The scaly man.
So I will say you can add 34 silver to your
yes.
to your character sheet that you've managed to accrue. As you go into that, let's roll a d12 with disadvantage. So can you roll me 2 d12s, Doug, and take the lowest score?
10. The 3.
A 3. So you start to kind of make yet more progress on the spoons, and a crowd is gathering. Like, word travels quickly in the Festival of Benediction. There you see a lot that, you saw people greeting each other, saying hi to each other. There's a lot of the same faces that turn up year after year, and suddenly, have you heard about the spoons guy? Within half an hour, this guy's making mad spoons. Like, some of them have got blades on the end. Like, I'm sure you wouldn't be able to take them into prison. Like, these are crazy spoons. And so people are you spot. In fact, and Delian, roll me perception check, because I think you're the only one who's not really...
You are sipping that wine.
For perception, it's just a 12.
It's just a 12. Okay, so with a 12, you see a green-cloaked figure approaching the group, and Kelnis has managed to sell 3 spoons in this latest little chunk, and it is Pollyanna, the first junior cleric who was supervising the building of the stage. She hasn't seen you guys yet, but she looks to be, as much of the rest of the worshippers and revelers are, making her way toward the exciting spoons man.
I am necking the rest of this wine, and it is, we need to go.
I am so sorry, everyone, but as you can see, our spoon shaper is done for the day, so we're going to have to pack up and go. I'm so sorry, but we will be here. And I know.
I wanted to get some spoons.
Guys,
Next year.
now.
Okay, everyone roll. So you communicate that you need to go. Let's have everyone roll. What? So you can. Radiant can just run. And Delian can just run. I'm going to say your sign can just disappear. if people want to, so Kelnis has to try and pack up his pack and get away before.
I would like to try and help out.
Great. So in that case, you can roll me either an athletics to grab everything, or an acrobatics to try
fold up my cloak and just.
So roll me an athletics check with advantage to see if you can. You need to beat a 12. So roll twice to take the highest.
Oh, God.
Oh, nope.
No.
How many times did you roll?
Roll twice. So what did you get?
I got a 5 + 3 the first time, and then a 6 + 3.
Okay. So
Oh God. So I dropped some spoons.
You dropped some spoons, and have you all been waiting for him, or have you booked it?
Well,
I'm still trying to help.
Okay.
I want to.
I'd like to cast Thaumaturgy and make a loud crash sound happen from across the pavilion.
Great. So
Caramel! No!
you hear more caramel. And Delian, you are frozen, watching as people are kind of going, oh, no more spoons. The crowds are parting, but Pollyanna kind of hasn't heard and is making her way to the front, and she is moments away from seeing Calnis and the rest of you. And then there's this great cry of caramel carried on the air, and Pollyanna, along with everyone else, her head whips towards the caramel. They're all caramel hounds here. It's very cold. And by the skin of your teeth, she turns back and gives you an opportunity to slip away.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all just heading out the market as quickly as possible?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you are.
So you you leave the market, you leave the festival. Unless there is anything else that you would like to do, any more risks you would like to take.
Nothing else you would like to do.
So you also add another. How much did I? Yeah, you add another 6 silver Kelnis because you sold 3 more spoons before Pollyanna turned up.
Had to give an extra hour, didn't you?
And as you leave the festival, after the excitement of it, you know that thing where you've kind of been running and it's been very warm in there and it's hot, and then you can feel the sweat on your skin starting to cool, and it feels extremely cold. Where are you heading?
To the oak place?
Shall we head to the old
Heading to
oak?
the old oak.
The old oak.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you sort of the path leads you past where the clearing was, and you're walking on the road. Do you want to take the road, or do you want to kind of stay off the road?
I think. We're dead, but we're only dead to the people back at the festival,
Yeah, I
aren't
think
we?
we
Yeah.
should stay to the road.
So you take the road. It's because Baruun's only sort of sprung up relatively recently. The roads around here have been sort of more recently laid than they might have done. This is an old road that would lead to Alvelian, but now obviously leads to the festival. But it's still in kind of reasonable shape. You pass travellers who are going the other way. You see traders, people on carts with goods piled high, other people who, families. You pass a family of tieflings, some people, some of them playing cards on the back of the car as others kind of move the pack animals that are taking all of their stuff to the festival. And
As we're walking along, I just want to sidle up to I and Dolly and just say, thanks, guys, that was really cool. I sold more spoons today than I've ever sold ever.
Your spoons are great, and they deserve that kind of attention.
I'm still making you one.
You better, after all that.
It'll be a spork to end all sporks.
And
I don't know what that is, but I'm really excited about it.
And I just goes in a kind of very locker room way, just kind of on Kelnis's backside, just gives a bam and just goes,
My backside.
good work, big scale.
You slapped my bum.
Yeah. in a very locker room, we've just had the adrenaline after you see those high school.
Where did you learn that?
Roll your persuasion.
You're gonna slap a towel
I
in
think
me
based on Doug's reaction, disadvantage to see how.
Where did you see that?
To see
kind of
how
behavior?
content Kelnis.
7.
7. Okay. So I don't think Kelnis likes this. I think it's fair to say that Kelnis is taken aback. No. So you continue down the path a couple of hours. And as night begins to fall, you near the Old Oak, a tavern that you recall staying in many years ago, but that still looks kind of very much how you left it, kind of slightly ramshackle. It's not far from the river. There is an area to kind of tie up horses. There are rooms, as you recall, and you head in, and there I'm going to have the old. Great. There is a human and a dark-skinned, curly hair behind the tavern. There's a few people in little clusters around the tables, people drinking, fire burning in the hearth. And as you go up, as you come in, you see this tavern owner, little neat beard. Welcome, travellers. Tired from the road?
You could say that. A little bit.
Yeah, we need 4 rooms.
4 rooms.
Who's bunking up?
I think we're about to find out.
Right, yeah, 4 rooms. We can do 4 rooms for you. Absolutely no bother at all. It's
Great, thank you. Kelnis, do you want to pay?
Okay.
yeah.
How much will that be?
Oh, it's one gold piece of room. So 4 gold for 4 rooms.
I has absolutely no context of how if that's
Yeah.
a much or anything. So I was just
Those of you who've been around a bit more, so Kelnis and Indelian and Dolly, roll history checks with advantage. You've travelled pretty widely.
How did you miss
I don't know.
You missed the dice tray.
No.
I got a dirty 20.
A dirty 20,
19.
a 19.
With advantage, did you say?
Yes.
That's better. 17.
A 17. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of par for the course. They probably have cheaper rooms than that. These would be like the nicer rooms in the tavern. You could do others for cheaper, but they wouldn't be quite so comfortable. But you're certainly not being fleeced in your experience.
Come on, pay the guy.
Okay, I pay him.
So, yeah, 4 gold pieces. And he says, well, I mean, if you wanted to have a drink or have something to eat, then of course we can supply that. If not, I'll...
Is that included in the price of the room?
No, we're in business here. It's not a charity. Come on, mate. No, don't be ridiculous. No, I mean, you're lucky actually. Space is at a premium these days on account of the festival. Get an awful lot of people stopping here for the night, so you're lucky. I mean, what is it? Day 3 of the festival today? Day 2? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, I think I might nip up there myself on the day, see them come down from the mountain. You ever seen it?
No. This is our
Ah, it's wonderful. Wonderful when they come down.
I just closes the pouch of the popcorn.
Yeah, the wine, the corn. I'll tell you, there's a funny fella. I will say, if you are heading that way, it's a very funny fella, purple hair, little gnome. Doesn't it?
Purple
I
hair?
couldn't believe it first time I saw it. It's absolute. I said, you're mad, you are.
How does he get that done?
I don't know. He must know someone. Crushed beetles, something. Amethyst. I hope it's not amethyst. I mean, it'd be quite the price if it was amethyst. But yeah. When they come down from the mountain, and they give bring a tear to your eye.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to go up there myself one day.
Me too.
I would like to. I mean, I'm not long enough in the tooth to have gone to Alvelian at the height of its power. But hey, imagine Seat of the Gods. Imagine what they have for dinner.
Speaking
That's pretty
of
nice
which,
looking up there.
Oh, I bet it's pretty nice.
speaking of dinner, what have you got?
Well, I got a rabbit stew. We got some winter squash for those of you that don't like the flesh.
I'll have some
I immediately say,
stew.
I will take the rabbit.
You can do rabbit stew.
I'll have a rabbit stew too.
Rabbit stew. 2 rabbit stew. Two. Pardon? 2 rabbit stews.
Just
For
one.
who? For you?
For me.
One for two. Who? 2? Who?
One for him, one for me.
2 rabbit stew.
You want some rabbit stew?
What?
I them.
No.
You
Squash?
them? Who stews?
I them.
They stews. Right.
Radiant?
That clears it up.
Rabbit stew for you?
This is chaos. Yes.
Right. 4?
You're not going to eat.
Oh, I just want another glass of wine with you.
Oh, we can do wine.
Yeah, I'll just give me wine.
What are you looking for? You looking local wine, or are you looking for something elvish? And you would know that Elvish wine is
lemon wine.
Pretty, yeah. There's definitely.
No lemon wine,
Would
but
be
I'll
a
take
bo-
the elvish wine.
Right, we can do Elvish wine bottle, just a goblet.
Bottle.
Leave the bottle.
Looks at you, Dolly.
Same again.
Right. What, the wine or the stew?
Both.
Both. Well, so that's 4 stews, two bottles of the Elvish wine. That'll be 5 silver.
Come on, Calnus.
What, am I the only one with money?
How much did you earn from your spoons today? You had a windfall that you weren't even expecting. Come
I
on.
know.
We're all friends here, aren't we?
I have lots of silver.
Fancy pulling up a table, or would you like to take these in your rooms? I can have them
Let's
sent
go
up
on
to
the
you.
table.
Well, lovely.
Let's go on the table.
That you see that there's like the best table is occupied currently by a little group of dwarves who are like nursing single goblets that look like they have like water or something very inexpensive in it. And you see the tavern owner leans over and goes, right, that table's taken now. And the dwarves kind of look up and he's like, there, unless you want to also buy 4 portions of rabbit stew and 2 bottles of wine. And the dwarves sort of stand
Elvish
up.
wine.
Did any of you speak Dwarvish?
No.
Okay, so you hear them mutter something to each other in Dwarvish as they lope off and leave you this kind of table in prime position next to the fire.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go and kick my legs up by the fire.
I get it. I get to the chair and goes,
You has one taller?
You want a stool, fella? We can do you a stool. You hear him shout, Lydia, have we got any of those stools that we use for the young'uns? And you hear like, oh yeah, we got one. And she brings out like a stool with like a little tray that goes round it, like essentially like a high chair.
I seize this with no understanding of what how this is usually used for children, and just goes,
Is good.
So Guy sits in his high chair. The tavern owner comes in and sort of tucks him in so that the tray overlaps the table, and the rest of you can sit around this thing.
I just sat there the whole time,
Didn't
just
like
looking at it,
Elvis.
having never seen anything like it, just the whole time, not really focused, but just spends the whole time going, just, yeah.
Fuck, look at him.
While we're waiting for the stew, I'm carving a spoon.
Is this Dolly's?
I'm working on Dolly's spoon.
This is Dolly's spoon, okay. So let's roll a sleight of hand check to see how you're getting on with the spoon. When you last offered it to her or showed it to her, it was pretty close to completion. It looked pretty good.
Cool. 21.
21. The spoon is, you know in your heart of hearts, Kelnis, that really you're gilding the lily at this point. Like, this spoon is nigh on perfect. And you could give it to her at any moment, but for whatever reason, you're trying to get it even better before you give it to her. But Dolly's spoon is sort of now complete as and when you would like to give it to her, unless you want to sort of do yet more ornamental work on it.
No, I think this is an ideal moment. I think I will place it on the table and slide it over to Dolly and say, Dolly, your spoon.
What does it look like?
So the last time we spoke, it had a kind of, you had the beginnings of where you were sort of tapering it in towards the end of the handle, the sort of pommel almost of the spoon. But other than that, you'd shaped it, but you hadn't kind of decorated it and really engraved and carved.
Yes, so now it's got this beautiful, it's made of mahogany, and it's got this beautiful bowl, very smooth all the way around, very thin as well. So it's really delicate and lovely. And the handle tapers down and is in the shape of a posy at the end.
I feel like I've never really looked at a spoon before this moment. This is too good for me, but thank you. I'm gonna tuck it into my jacket.
At which point, over comes the tavern keeper and his wife, and they both sort of lay bowls of stew down in front of you with a couple of bottles of wine, some goblets for you all, and some real basic spoons. And as he sees you handling that spoon with this beautiful delicate posy, he goes, "Well, that's not one of ours," and says, "Right, there you go. Special recipe, apricots," and gives you a little wink, and then heads off and allows you to enjoy your food and drink in peace.
Oh my gosh. Feels like we haven't done this ever.
We has not eaten.
Other than popcorn.
Let's get
And that's a
this
snack.
down.
Wait a second.
Oh, don't ruin the moment.
No.
I'm about to shout.
This guy has just fleeced us for a lot of money.
Help
He
us.
knows that we have a lot of money on us because we've just paid a lot of money for those rooms. And he's just told us there's something special. Did you see the way he winked? He just went something special.
No.
He's done something to this
No,
food.
it hasn't.
Everyone roll insight checks, Radiant with disadvantage.
11.
11 from I, Dolly.
17.
17.
15.
Sorry, 18.
18, 15 from Kelnis and Danny.
5, but I'm not eating.
A 5 and
10.
A 10 with disadvantage. Okay. Those of you above a 10, he absolutely has not. You are aware. You become aware in investigating and looking at this. In kind of trying to read his motivation, that you have sort of overshot the runway on this accusation, but that you fear you may be in too deep to immediately pull back from the accusation.
I'm not going to eat it.
I'll have his.
I just gets the bag of popcorn and throws it to Radiant.
So you start scarfing down this stew, Kelnis having 2 bowls, one from each bowl.
I'm a big guy.
And Delian just sits there sipping wine, looking like every character from Absolutely Fabulous. Rakishly thin, sunken eyes. Oh my God, she looks incredible. She looks
Sweetie, darling.
I take a scoop of stew and I hold it towards Delian.
There you go. You earned that.
stew.
It's not.
So you sit there in the kind of the comfort of a tavern, the crackle of the fire,
This
the warmth.
this feels different.
I feel like I should finish the stew, kick back, put my feet up, pull my cloak over my head, and start smoking a big pipe, and just look mysterious.
Great. Roll me performance checks.
It's what we do in a tavern, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to.
8.
8, okay. Like having sort of relaxed and opened up and given a spoon, told you about his family, Kelnis seems to make an incongruous choice, in as much as he sort of leans back and adopts a sort of willfully mysterious air, as if begging to be asked what he's thinking. And you collectively go, we're not going to ask Kelnis what he's thinking.
Can I
You
see?
absolutely, you can do whatever you
Can
like.
I seeing this?
Yeah.
Also, just kind of and like legs, feet up, sort of like
Yeah,
on this
very
little-
difficult because
Yeah.
you find
Okay.
yourself almost doing the luge. Attempts to look-
Hood up and attempt to do a similar sort
Okay,
of.
roll performance with disadvantage. You are, after all, in a high chair.
That's an 8.
That's an 8. Okay, so it's almost like this perfect symmetrical moment as 2 buffoons attempt to look
Accidentally nails it.
windswept and interesting. You do exactly copy what Kelnis did, so you think it's gone great.
You hear so far.
Another one. Yeah. You realise that in Delian, every time someone tries to pour from the bottle in front of her, has just pulled it closer.
Oh my God.
So it's kind of, night has really fallen now. Your bowls are empty. Your wine is drunk. He keeps nodding off and nearly hitting. He starts to get really tired, lolling from side to side in the high chair. Someone suggests getting some straps.
Radiant hands out the 4 keys to everyone and says, they're for you. Go to bed when you want.
Where are you going?
Oh, I'll find a place to sleep.
Barn?
This is not an answer.
Well, to each their own. I'm going to bed.
And Kelnis stands up from the table and off he goes up to his room. It's very, very kind of comfortable room. Plenty of blankets against the cold. There's a fire burning low in the grate with a kind of guard in front of it to make sure that embers don't catch, but it's flagstone floor. It's comfortable. It even has a little kind of bowl of fresh water in there so you can kind of refresh yourself before you sleep.
Nice.
I would also like to, but obviously, how easily do I get out of the?
Oh, you need help. You need to. You try for a bit and then just lift your arms up. wait to be lifted up. And Delian pops you down on the floor. Pats you. I was going to say pats you on the head. I'm so glad you minded that. Yeah, right. Go on. Up you go. Up you go. I'll be up in a minute.
Bedtime. Don't forget to brush your teeth.
And I literally just grabs the bag of popcorn back again that Radiant just hasn't touched.
Yeah.
And just scurries off.
Scurries off, and again you find, but it's probably, I mean, it's among the most comfortable rooms you've ever stayed in, really. I don't
Okay.
think you guys are big bed people.
No, I sleep under the bed.
You sleep under the
Yeah.
bed, because that in case the monsters are there.
Yeah.
Indelian, Dolly,
Yeah, I'm not wasting the chance to sleep in an actual bed.
yeah, up you go. Comfortable room.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I will also head to bed.
Okay. So Radian, you're left alone at the table. What's your plan?
So Radiant's going to go outside and try and find a place outside to sleep.
Okay. So you're not far from the road, and beyond the road is the forest on every side. You could head into the forest, find somewhere to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. How far into the forest do you want to
far.
go?
I mean, we're talking like on the
edge of the tree.
edge of the tree line.
Okay, sure. Roll me a survival check.
14.
Yeah, you find like as often, you know, as has often happened, like the road has been built slightly higher, so there's a sort of almost like little ditches, like little drops away from the road. And again, because this forest is quite thick, although there's snow on the ground, there is enough protection in the canopy. There's like a patch of kind of brown ferns that you pick your way through until you're really kind of obscured from the road, and you find a kind of reasonably untree rooty section of forest floor where you can rest.
What he decides to do is, just a bit away, is he just starts digging a hole.
Okay.
Starts digging a hole, and out of his pocket he pulls a deck of cards.
Yep.
And he buries it in the ground.
Right.
And like he can hear just this noise, like it's painful, like it really, really hurts, like it's almost screaming to him. And you can kind of see that when he moves to the tree line, this kind of thing that he's been holding in, it's like agony. It's like his head is bursting. And this complete release, all this tension that he's been holding in, all of this anger, all of this stuff, it just kind of lets out. And when he buries it and he just covers the soil, he just kind of stares at it, like terrified. And it stops for a second.
Okay. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
9.
Okay. You as you bury this deck of cards, and the whispering, the screaming, the noise that you hear from this deck stops, and you find you're sitting there, and there's this moment of calm, and then you feel your shoulders start to shake, and you find yourself crying in a way you can't stop, and it's like this complete. It's like this. What you describe is like this purging of tension, but there's also fear in it. There's a sense of burden and an inability to stop yourself. And then, as suddenly as it started, it stops. And you feel that you can breathe. And then you rest for the night?
Yeah.
Great. So the next morning you wake in your respective rooms. Raiden, you wake in the forest. Head down into main area of the tavern. Why don't the 5 of you roll me? Just roll initiative. See who gets down there first.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
It's you then, isn't it?
And then what do you get, Dolly?
23.
23. So your modifier is +4, right? Or +5?
+5.
+5. Kelnis?
10.
And Delian?
Oh, only 6.
And Radiant?
17.
Okay, so you're the first down, and you're soon joined by Dolly.
Okay.
Morning.
I is literally just stood admiring the
Mechanics of the high chair.
Yeah, the high chair.
Roll me an investigation check.
That is dirty. I think dirty 20. Dirty 20.
Okay, so I would say that from this point on, you could successfully describe the design of a high chair to a carpenter and have one made for you. Like you're familiar enough with the mechanism. You discover, which you didn't manage to discover that before, that there are like little bolts within which will allow the tray to be removed, which would have been great to know last night. They need to be lifted out of it. But yeah, that maybe you could put a little set of steps next to it, and you could find yourself up at a table. You know, your head is like swimming with great ideas.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
And down comes Dolly, and then soon after, Radiant comes in from outside.
I would like to add that just before he's come from outside, he has, for that moment, basically where the cards were before, we've stopped, and he's decided to unbury them,
Okay.
pick them back up and put in his pocket.
Okay. You go to unbury them. As you dig through the soil, there's nothing in the hole. Roll me an investigation check.
1.
Okay. You don't know where they are.
Okay. He feels relieved.
Okay.
Morning.
Hi. How'd you sleep?
Yeah, really good, man. I needed that.
Yeah.
How about you?
The bed was very low. It was very nice.
Down comes Kelnis, down comes Indelian.
Oh, I slept like a baby.
I've got my hood up and it's a real don't talk to me.
She's hanging. She's absolutely rotten.
She's 2 bowls of red in and it was not great.
It hits you when you lie down and the whole room spins and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm past the point of no return. I can't do it.
Yeah.
This is not all right. I'm not okay.
No, not okay.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
It's not good. 10.
Okay. You'll roll your next check, whatever it is, with disadvantage as you're trying to shrug off that hangover.
I'm just gonna slide her a glass of water across the table.
She like downs it with those like ugly gulps.
Yeah. No, you'll see that again soon.
So you've kind of woken early before like the rest of the guests are rising. There's no one down here. There's the wife who served you the stew. She's kind of behind the tavern, gives you a little nod as behind the bar, gives you a nod as you wake, but no one's bothering you.
So Baruun, eh?
To Baruun.
How do you feel about that? Have you been before? You haven't been before.
I does not know where Baruun is.
No, you definitely wouldn't. I mean, I don't think really culturally you guys make maps.
Yeah.
You probably heard of it in the sense it's a word you might have heard of. But yeah, I would say that, let's roll, I think Kelnis has definitely been. I think Dolly would have been as well. And Delian, do you feel like you would have been to Baruun? I think it's very likely that you have. So the 3 of you would know that there is, the road kind of circumvents, it will take you longer. You cut through the forest, you'll be there quicker. It's up to you which path you guys want to take.
I mean, we could do just the more direct route. I mean, I'm kind of keen to find out what's been happening.
I know these woods well.
Yeah?
I can take us through these woods to Baruun.
Yeah, so you can roll, if I ask you to roll survival checks, your familiarity with this terrain will mean that you can roll them with advantage.
What am I doing?
As you don't need to do anything yet,
Oh.
but as and when, if I call, if you've, Calnus is really, particularly in forests, I'm going to say it's almost like for the noodly people at home, we're almost going to treat it like a ranger's favoured terrain, but in kind of ways that aren't game breaking. So you can probably, within forests, generally speaking, you have a pretty good sense. You never really lose where north is or get confused or disorientated.
Just get there as fast as possible.
Okay.
I'm going to try and sneak some spoons in Gideon's bag.
Okay. So there were 47, of which you sold 20. So that means we have.
But there were some already in Radiant's bag as well.
That's a great point. Yeah, but there were 12
there were
in there.
50.
So there
How
were
many did I
50.
sell?
So there were 59, which meant there were 47 in your bag. I'm so glad we did this. You sold 20, which means there are 27. So let's roll 7. How many are you trying to get in there?
As many as possible.
Okay, let's roll 7d8, please. No, that's insane. 4d8. I'm going to say that,
So
3
there
of
were
them.
already 12 spoons in Radiant's
Yeah,
bag.
3 of them are just too far in to get.
You say 4d8?
3d8, sorry.
3d8, oh.
3d8.
Only 5.
Okay, so roll me a sleight of hand check.
22.
22.
Wow.
Yeah, you get another 5 spoons into Radiant's pack, and then you make your way out of the tavern and you begin to you enter the forest, and the forest is deep and thick. As soon, really, as you get past where Radiant you would have slept last night, as soon as you get past that edge of the tree line, it becomes, to the uninitiated, labyrinthine. And it's only really down to Calnus's knowledge of the woods that you're able to even determine. You know that at this point you've kind of travelled south for a little while, so you're heading sort of east-southeast. You're sort of slightly, you're kind of moving in that direction, not going as far southeast as you would have previously gone, and it's thanks to Calnus that you're able to navigate this. I'm going to...
This must be really bad for you. Just hungover, going to the woods. Like the worst.
So you walk for hours, and it's sort of warmer here as well.
Feeling really good.
Yeah, it's kind of muggy beneath the...
Real good.
And Dalian feels that thing in the back of her throat where you have to start spitting loads and you know
yeah.
what's coming next. And so you can hear the kind of wind blowing above, but where you are, you're kind of protected from it. I guess, Kel, you'd be at the front, right? Or maybe not. Why don't you tell me a marching order, like who's in the front, who's at the back?
I think I would have to be in the front to
Right.
find a suitable path.
Okay. So Calnus, roll me a perception check with advantage.
Please do okay.
Please.
Please be okay.
Please be okay.
I just want you to...
20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. As you make your way through this forest, picking your way through a path that doesn't kind of truly exist, you pass these little kind of areas where the light can penetrate, but generally speaking, it's thick enough that it's kind of dark. Kind of like almost like twilight in here, just due to the thickness of the canopy. And you see, Kel, the beginnings of a flicker of light. Not in the direction you're heading, a little bit away from your route. And with a 20, I would say you hear a kind of a noise that at first sounds like it might be the wind above the canopy, and then you realize are hushed voices.
So who's behind me?
I'm literally like on your heel.
So I turn and say to I, shh. Do you hear that?
Do I hear it?
Roll perception. With advantage, actually, because at this point it's kind of you're being made aware of it.
11.
11. You can't hear that, but you can see the light Once it's pointed out to you, you can see the light, but you can't hear the voices.
Okay, so it says, I sees it. You hears it? What does you hear?
Voices.
I is gonna sense of compulsion, and sort of a personal compulsion is gonna just start, but not in any rapid way, just in a kind of.
So you want to sort of stealthily pick your way through the trees to roll me a stealth check.
19.
19. The closer you get, the brighter the light gets, or at least the easier it is to see. And you can see, when you're about sort of 30 feet from it or so, you see it's a small campfire, just in a tiny little area, sort of wet wood that's burning, kind of smoky and acrid. And you see 2 figures sat round that fire. Roll me perception.
10.
Okay. You can hear that they are having some kind of disagreement. Not rageful, but you can tell from the tone of voice, you're sort of 30 feet from the edge of that glade, that you can hear that there's some kind of argument going on.
Okay. Do I get any sense of humanoid or
So there are two figures, and they're obscured at the moment through the trees. You can see that they're humanoid. If you want to get closer, you can roll another stealth.
Yep.
11.
Harry.
Yeah?
Just a quick question. Because we slept, are our spell slots recharged and everything?
Yes,
We are.
everything is back. Everything is
I
back.
completely forgot to ask.
You know what? I should have told you that, really. Essentially, that was a long rest that you took. So you can reset your spell slots, reset your HP, reset your character abilities, your class abilities. Both of these humanoids have a passive perception of 10. So you pick your way through to the edge of the tree line, and there's a moment when your foot, as light-footed as you typically are, there's a crack of dead leaves. And you're still, and for a moment there's just your heartbeat, sound of your own, of the blood pumping in your ears and your breath. And then you realize that the conversation is continuing. And as you get close, you see that one of these figures sat around the fire. At first it looks like they're made of metal. But then you check yourself, and they're in a slate grey cloak. And they have this skin, wearing black gloves, and the only bit of skin you can see is shining. And then you realize it's a mask. It's a silver mask obscuring their face, these narrow slits for the mouth and the nose, the voice coming muffled through them. Only their eyes, piercing blue, are visible.
Okay.
And then beside them is another figure, also cloaked, but not masked. They have shoulder-length brown hair and a square-set face, and they're human.
Okay. I look back behind me. Has anyone joined me in this? Or
Yeah,
am I totally...
have you joined and picked? Okay, so let's say roll a stealth, Radiant. Anyone else who wants to can roll a stealth.
22.
22. So you have kept step with I. Why don't you roll me a perception as well, please? And we'll see if you're both able to overhear this.
7.
7. Okay, so what you hear, in fact, roll me perception as well, I. Roll with advantage because you've managed to get ever so close at this point.
17.
17, okay. You hear the first voice coming through the mask. And it says, waiting. We wait until we hear otherwise. And then the human with the light brown hair says, I can't wait. Not knowing that there's so many of them, not knowing that they're still in there. And then the figure in the mask, we have done our part for now. We wrote the message. That was what was required of us then. What is required of us now is to wait. And then the square-faced, curly-haired figure grins at the other and says, I will bleed that council. There's no response. Start with Trusk. Real slow. And there's still no response from his companion. And he says, are you squeamish, are you? Don't like the sight of blood. And the figure in the mask says, no, but I'm not barbaric. You have your own mind, but don't expect me to join you in what you consider sport. Trusk may not be on our side, but she's done nothing wrong. She's blind as we were.
I turn to Radiant and very quietly say, the web is wide. Is everyone else still further back?
Yeah, I mean, no one said that.
So we haven't heard any of this.
No, you haven't. Radiant and I picked their way through the woods.
Okay. I turn to her and say, you goes back or I goes?
Radiant raises his hand and heads back.
Stealth check with advantage. I think it's probably easier getting away from someone than it is getting towards them.
25.
25, absolutely. You make your way back to the path. I'd say you haven't overheard all of this, but you've kind of got the sense of it. Or you've got a sense that there's that you know that there are people there, they're having a disagreement there.
Yeah.
One of them is wearing a mask.
Yeah.
The other one has a mask, I should have said really, sort of also has one of these masks by their side.
Yeah. Radiant immediately relays that information and says the little lizard is going to get himself into trouble.
This is our problem. Why would he go towards the random figures in the dark?
I have no idea. I can't really make out what they said, but he seems to think they're members of the web.
Okay. Let's try and bring him back. I'm going to stealth towards him.
Roll me stealth, Dolly.
7.
7. You reach I, and as you go to put your hand on his shoulder, the same patch of crackling leaves and sticks that I stepped on, you step on. And as you put your hand on his shoulder, there's this crack, and the two heads spin towards you in the tree line. And let's take a little break.
Okay.
Welcome back. So, you put your hand on I's shoulder, and these heads snap towards you. And the first thing that happens is this guy with the human scrambles for his mask and puts the mask on. And you hear, who's there?
I'm going to step away from I very quickly and just be like, sorry, I saw the light and I'm a little bit lost.
Do you want to, are you shouting this from the trailer or are you making yourself visible?
I'm making myself visible.
Okay. Roll me persuasion or deception.
Dirty 20.
You see the two of them look to each other, say, the one who's been wearing the mask the whole time says, you're a long way from the path.
Yeah, well, I had to pee.
You're hours into the forest.
Yeah, I had to pee.
She had to pick.
She had to.
She had to be.
It's a good.
How long have you been there?
Oh, no time. I just was, I'm not very soft-footed, as you probably heard, so I just saw the light and was wandering towards it.
Right.
Sorry if I'm interrupting anything.
Roll me insight.
Dirty 20.
20. They are spooked. Travel alone.
Yeah, completely.
Roll me deception.
16.
They look at each other, seem to consider you, and sort of relax a little. And the one that's just scrambled to put the mask on says, where are you headed?
Baruun.
Baruun. Been to the city before, have you? Familiar with it?
Yeah.
Been
Me
there
too.
recently?
No, not recently, actually. It's been a while.
Well,
You from there yourself?
Doesn't matter where I'm from.
I'm sorry. Just curious.
Let's just go have my wee now.
Yeah. Do you mind if I squat?
Roll me an eye. You can roll. Both of you roll perception checks.
11.
12.
Okay. You see the one who just put the mask on his hand going out towards this great axe that he has next to him.
So, if I probably interrupted you, probably in the middle of stuff, I'm just gonna leave you guys be.
Stares at you for a long time. And then the one who's been stood the whole time says, I think that's for the best.
Sure.
Good luck on the road.
The web is wide.
Good for the web.
Okay, I'm gonna leave.
So
Bring out merch.
the
Just sorry, mumble.
good for the web.
I'm thrilled for them, actually.
Ide. So Dolly, you make your way away from this clearing towards where Endelion and Radiant and Kelnis are waiting. What do you do?
I remain low.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still watching in this direction?
It depends if you're. Essentially, it depends on where you're going. If you're staying and trying to gather more information, you'll know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But if you turn around and walk off, I can't tell you what you can see over
Yeah,
there. You know what I mean?
I'm perfect because my perception was pretty decent, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
just
remain
stay.
and see if I can, I think I don't even need to look at Dolly. I think Dolly's kind of aware that I'm staying here. There's no kind of I'm not going to try and signal I'm staying. I'm literally just going to stay put
Okay.
and see if I can overhear anything. Do
I
should
still know nothing. Me and Endelion
Yeah.
and Radiant. No, Radiant, you
Do
went
I
up.
roll again
Some stuff, yeah.
pretty cool. To see if I can carry on, or do I continue?
No. You're there. You haven't moved.
Yeah.
You've been listening to this conversation. The one turns to the other and says, "Find Paula. We need to follow her." And you, from behind the mask, hear the other one, and you can hear a smile in his voice as he goes, "Good." And he disappears into the other side of the clearing.
So now there is just one of them alone.
There is.
Okay.
He is looking in the direction where Dolly left.
And the other two have gone after her?
You're not there.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? So just because we've split the party, so we need to kind of.
Okay. So the other one is he, and he's still facing and looking in this direction. Where
Yeah,
Dolly's
he's
gone.
looking kind of trying to see if he can hear anything. Dolly looking through the woods. In fact, I'll have him roll perception. Okay. So yeah, he's just kind of looking through the woods, trying to see if he can.
How far away did Dolly step from me? Do you think?
I think that we said that your first stopping point was about 30 feet from the edge of the glade. You're now on the edge of the glade in the tree line, which is where Dolly stepped out from. I would say that in the time this has happened, for one of the guys in that glade to have gone to the other side to find someone, Dolly has rejoined the others and is back on the road. You're maybe 100 feet from there. So,
Okay. I would like to attempt now to sort of slink out in a kind of slightly, away from his view, slink out and do a kind of a little
banana.
banana round back to where these guys are.
Okay, you can roll a stealth to get away.
Oh my god, that's 11.
It's 11. You're stepping back onto that same familiar patch of ground, and there's a moment where his head behind the mark, you see it turn to the location that you are, and you can see his face obscured, but you see his body inclined, like he's leaning in, and then starts to scan the rest of the tree line.
Yeah, I banana back around.
Okay, so you make your way back to the others.
Okay, as soon as I get back,
I go, stops. And I turn to Dolly and I say, he is not letting you leave.
I'm gonna use message. Look at Indelian, and you can hear a whisper. Only you can hear. Get moving, hide.
Okay. Lucky for you, I'm rolling with disadvantage.
Yeah, you are. Your first roll is with disadvantage. So this is a stealth.
You'll be fine because I rolled a 15 and a natural 20.
Okay, so a 15 on stealth becomes a. Do you have a plus?
It actually becomes 17.
Becomes a 17. Okay, so Cal, Radian, you see immediately like Indelian's head snaps towards Dolly, and then Indelian like positions herself in the woods, hidden. And then this is when I turns up. You guys are in a group. You're all within kind of easy earshot, as close really as you are now, other than the fact that Indelian has started to kind of hunker down.
Okay, I convey everything that I heard about the fact that there's some. It sounded like they were talking about some multiples of something in a. Was it a cave or like a? They said like in there.
They said. Basically, what you heard was one saying, we're waiting until we're told otherwise, and the other one saying, it's hard for me to wait knowing that there's so many of them there.
There's so many of them there.
And then the first one said, we were there to, we wrote the message, that was what was required of us, and now we need to wait. And then you heard the other one say, I want to bleed that council, and they talked about someone called Trusk.
Yeah. So I convey all of this, and I say, and I would like to say, and it looks like this. And I would like the cloak that I'm wearing to turn to the grey cloak
This
that they have.
slate grey cloak that you see.
And then also silent image. Silent image that I have, or
I believe you have silent image. I mean,
Yeah,
you
let
cast
me
it.
just-
You cast it earlier.
Can I? Oh,
It's a leveled spell, I believe.
yeah.
So you would burn a slot to do it.
yeah, because I want to convey to see if anyone knows anything of these guys. I can, and I,
We don't have a lot of time.
and it's just literally, I do the grey and boom, and it's the mask.
This the masks. Okay. Okay, you're okay. Everyone roll history checks to see if you recognize these masks. Radiant,
22.
22.
Not with a nat 1.
Nat 1. Kelnis,
10.
10. Dolly,
3.
3. Radiant, you've never seen these masks in your life. The rest of you, like, you're sure you haven't seen them. The rest of you just don't recognize them. But Radiant, you can say with certainty you've never seen these masks before.
Yeah.
Okay, you start to hear from the glade. In fact, let me roll that for stealth. Okay. Everyone roll perception checks. Dolly?
10.
I?
11.
Cal?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20?
18.
18?
2.
2. And Indelian, you don't. Kel, you hear footsteps. You hear the barest crack of dry leaves. Something is coming towards you, and then you hear another set of footsteps further behind. In fact, you hear 3 sets of footsteps coming.
3.
Indelian, you only hear 1.
I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna step as far as the time will allow away from everyone else.
Okay. You want to step away and just be you by yourself,
Yeah.
so you're not attempting to hide.
No.
Okay, so Indelian is hidden. You have 1 round essentially to figure out what you want to do. Radian, Kelnis, and I. Dolly is stood in the sort of facing towards where Kel has just pointed out these footsteps coming from. The rest of you, what do you want
Would
to
I
do?
have time to communicate anything to anyone? No.
It depends what you want to communicate.
I just want to say I think we should all hide.
Great. Yeah. You can say hide.
Yeah, hide. I'm going to do that.
Roll stealth.
20.
20. I.
Oh my god, a 12.
A 12.
I'm supposed to be good at this.
And Kel.
I'll hide as well. 10.
10. Okay. you see.
Can I say I'm keeping for now. No matter what happens, I'm keeping the silent image for its 10-minute duration of the mask.
So you look like you have a mask on your face.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And the cloak is now looking like one of their slate grey cloaks. Okay. Dolly, roll me perception.
3.
3.
You see everything. It's
Can the rest of you roll me perception as well? One last check, and then we'll see where we are at.
Oh my god.
I. 2. And Delian?
17.
17.
7.
7.
18.
18.
Stealthy.
You hear footsteps. Kel, a single set of footsteps. The other 2 are lost to you somewhere in the forest. And then you see an arrow fly through the trees and slam Dolly in the chest. Dolly, you take 9 piercing damage. Everybody roll initiative. So that is...
God.
It's initiative. It's not. This is all
four,
right. This
yeah,
is the okay
Just get
time.
them out. Get them out. That's fine.
Last time was when I took a fucking punt to the
What do you
chest.
get? What have you got on initiative? What pluses have you got?
I've got a 2.
I've got
What have you
plus
got?
3.
Okay, so did anyone get higher than a 20?
21.
21. Cool.
You just took
Then
9.
15 to 19. 10 to 14.
Oh, that was me. I got an 11.
11
I also got an 11.
and 11. So what are your dexterity?
I've got a nice chunky 3.
And plus 2.
Plus 2. Okay, so we'll go Radiant, and then we'll go Endelian. And then I and Kelnis, what did you get?
6.
A 6
A 4.
and a 4.
Mad.
I know.
Okay, so then we
I'm
go...
well aware.
You got a 4, Kelnis, right? Okay, so let me just add this in. What you all see as they leave their hidden condition is you look back and you see that there is a dragonborn with a bow that's just fired this arrow that hits Dolly. They are in fact going to. They act first. They rolled a 24 on initiative, and they're going to take another, knock another arrow, and fire it at you. And that is a 23 to hit. I tell you what they're going to do. They want to get rid of you as quickly as possible. There's another 7 damage, and they're going to use a bonus action, Archer's Eye.
Good.
I'm down.
Great. Okay.
Great.
Yeah, you go down. You watch as Dolly drops. That is... Dolly, that's your turn. Can you come behind the screen and make me a
God.
death saving throw?
Oh my god.
Try if you can to avoid looking at... Of course you can. That's been rolling well for me. I don't know what that means. Okay. You watch as Dolly goes down, a second arrow in her chest.
Right, Sean Bean.
And you hear a voice from the tree line, a familiar voice to 2 of you, not familiar to others, as the one of the figures who you saw in the glade, holding an axe, steps forward and says, "Nice shooting." "She went down quick, didn't she?" And starts to make his way over to the body. Radiant, that's your turn. You've now seen this archer is in the open, and this guy holding an axe is in the open.
And they're making their way over to
They're making their way over towards the body.
I cast web on them.
Okay. Tell me what they need to do.
I shall tell you what they need to do. As I stand up, I conjure a 20-foot cube, and they must. They must take a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. And they have to beat your spell save DC, which is now 14,
Which
correct?
is 14, yeah.
Okay, so the first one is the guy with the axe. That is a 13. The next one is the archer. That is a 12. They both fail.
Yeah.
So,
from where I'm hidden, I shoot a shot. And so as they're making their way, they are literally pinned to the ground. Well, like they are.
they are pinned in. They are
pinned in,
They are held within it. So they make a dexterity saving throw. They are now restrained, which means they can either walk. They can use their action to make a strength check to get out of the webs. But they currently have disadvantage on attacks, and attacks against them have advantage. So they kind of can't dodge.
May I ask where they got to when they were moving towards
I'm going to say they are 30 feet from Dolly. They've broken cover and they've just started kind of almost, as far as they're concerned, there was one person here and that one person is dead. Or that one person is down, and so there is no need for them to move stealthily anymore.
And I imagine that I have revealed myself because I didn't
You
know
absolutely have, yeah.
And I say, don't fucking move.
Great. I won't let you roll anything for that because at the moment that would sort of be another action to try and intimidate.
Yeah,
but
it's not an intimidation.
Great.
It's just a stupid thing that Radiant would say.
They've clocked that you've said it, certainly. And Delian, you are hidden in the tree line. You've just seen Dolly go down, and then this web ensnare these two people walking towards her, slate grey cloaks, silver masks.
How far am I from them?
You are. I'd say that you're probably. I'm imagining that what you guys did is almost formed like a horseshoe, like spreading out into different areas, and they've sort of moved into the middle of that horseshoe. So I'd say you're all 30 feet from them, but just in different flanks and in different places. And of course, I and Kelness, you aren't hidden as much as you're just in view, really, but within kind of 30 feet.
Can I get to either of them without getting into the web?
Yes, I would say you can. I think Radiant, you've used the spell enough to not put them in the very centre of it, meaning that no one can reach.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have a 5-foot reach on your attacks.
Cool. Who's closest to me? Which one?
The one with the axe.
Then I'm going to go after the one with the axe.
Okay. Make an attack with advantage against the one with the axe. Roll twice. Take the highest.
My highest was an 18 plus my strength would make
hits.
it. Yeah,
Totally hits.
I hit.
Yeah,
hits.
you hit.
It hits. I hit.
I hit.
Oh, good. How did you do that?
Professional voice actor.
There's a reason you're the professional. Right, short sword then. It's a 1 plus 7, so it still hits.
1 plus 7.
Yeah.
You do 7 damage.
I do 7 damage with my short sword now.
Bloody hell.
So that hits for 8.
Okay.
And then dagger.
Cool.
So that would only be only rolled a 12 on that.
That does not hit.
Fine. I haven't done it yet, so I'll action surge on this one as well.
Great. Also, you have everything back.
Yes,
So you
exactly.
you all have your healings and various things.
Yeah, someone else will heal you.
Yes. So make your first attack with your sword again.
Oh, do I have to D20 again?
Yeah, every
exactly,
time. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's 4, essentially, you get 4 attacks.
That was a 15.
Okay, that hits.
Cool. So that's a 6 plus a 7, so I hit
13.
for 13. And that one on my dagger, so.
Okay.
Ow.
So you you roll with advantage
Oh,
because it's still restrained.
that's still only a 7 plus a 5, so that still makes it a 12.
Just misses.
Yeah.
You watch as Indelian emerges from the tree line, all of you apart from Dolly, of course, and she slashes into this restrained guy, slashes into him once, stabs towards him again, and then, like, twirls her sword, slashes down on him. this guy has taken some damage. He doesn't look broken by it. He looks up kind of rageful, doesn't know where the hell you've come from. And you see him starting to sort of scan the tree line to see if there are any other people. That is someone else's turn. Can I, Kel, and Radian roll a d20? Who rolls closest to a 7?
I rolled a 10.
3.
17.
17. You're the closest one, and also you are not hidden. So you become aware as someone runs towards you. It's the other figure that you saw, a dagger in one hand, rapier in the other. Swings a rapier down at you, 14 to hit.
It does not hit.
And then takes an attack with the dagger. That's 10, which also doesn't hit. So they slash down with the rapier, then stab at you with the dagger. You avoid both. And then they are going to use a bonus action to disengage and kind of skirt round closer to where Dolly's body is without provoking an opportunity attack.
Okay.
That is your turn,
So, but how much of his movement has he used? So, basically, how far away from I?
He's about 10 feet from you.
Okay, so 10 feet from me, and how far away is Dolly's body from me?
30 feet from you, so he's kind of 25 feet, sorry, he's 20 feet from Dolly, 10 feet from you.
Okay. In that case, then, I would like to use my entire 30 feet to, as he tries to disengage,
He does disengage,
but as he does that, sprint past him to Dolly. Is there or any way? Because I mean, if he's 10, would I then go back into his and open up?
You would, because you'd be running into and then out of his space. But I would remind you that an opportunity attack doesn't stop you from moving. It would just mean you would be hit.
I'm gonna take that risk.
Okay. He'll roll an attack with his rapier. That is a 23 to hit.
Yep.
So he stabs into you for 6 piercing damage as you go past him, but you manage to continue running.
Okay.
He sort of stabs into your side with this rapier, but you can reach Dolly.
Then I use my action. I take out my greater healing, and I pour it
into Dolly's mouth.
Dolly's mouth.
So a greater healing potion, I believe, is 4d4 plus 4. And let me just check that. It is 4d4 plus 4, so roll that, Dolly.
Is that the first time you've been hit? Yes, isn't
Yes.
it? You've even had practice sessions. I don't think you've ever taken damage.
Oh no, I have taken some damage at some point. I remember healing, but I don't know when.
Oh, and as well, we were running from the fire.
Do you want some?
Maybe.
Worth it for our Dolly.
You got. Listen, I got dice.
Where are they?
They always the D4s always end up at right.
Yeah, they do,
Yeah.
you're right. Okay,
Because
so
they're not-
44 plus 6, you said?
4d4 plus 4.
4, sorry. I'm just giving myself some stuff. It's 2, 3. Oh, hello. 7. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
11.
15?
No, yeah,
Oh.
15.
15. So you guys all see that Eye dashes from the tree line, stabbed on the way past, but gets to Dolly, gets the stopper out of potion, sort of pours it down her throat, and Dolly gasps, having taken 1 fail on a death save.
This dude, I mean, is there any scope? I mean, I'm not expecting anything to hide. Is there any way? Because I mean, we're talking it's the dark and
You can
everything.
use a bonus action to hide. I mean,
is-
you're in the forest.
Yeah. So it is reasonable
absolutely,
that
absolutely.
like foliage and
it's
stuff.
more than
I
reasonable.
can-
You're specifically not in a glade. You're
Yeah.
specifically not
Right.
in you are in the dark. You're in the twisting trees.
Yeah.
Tell me.
So that's a 16.
16. Okay. Just work.
Okay.
So you disappear to all 3 of them. That is Kelnis's turn. So you see Dolly has just got up. There is someone wielding a rapier who you've just seen stab Eye, who is 20 feet from her. You can reach him, and then there are also the 2 in the web. Indelian has just hit one of them, and Radian is in the tree line having cast the spell.
How far is the guy who just stabbed?
He's 30 feet. He's probably 25 feet from where you are.
And how far is he from I?
You don't know. Eyes hidden. You don't know.
Oh,
No one ever knows where I is.
As far as you're concerned, when I hide,
blessing
you don't know.
Anarchist.
Like I has kind of gone. Really, I is like almost. I've decided because we don't have hidden in our little things, we're going to use invisible for those moments that you hide. 'Cause I think that's quite fun.
Okay, I'm going to cast Ice Knife on the guy who I saw stab Eye.
A bonus action?
No, it's not, unfortunately. I wish it was. That would be great.
Yeah, it would be cool.
I mean, I was going to heal you, but you're healed now, so I
No
feel like
need.
we got to take out the threat, you know?
Yeah.
Sure you were, Doug.
So, Ice Knife.
Yeah, it's easy to say it now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to save that for, the next person who goes down.
So I don't think have we used Ice Knife before?
I don't think I have.
I don't think we have. So maybe tell us about this spell.
So, Ice Knife. It's 1d10 damage on hit. Is
It still
plus,
hits even if you miss, I think.
So you
plus
create
2d6
So you create a shard of
cold
ice.
damage.
Yeah, you create a shard of ice and you fling it at a creature within range, and if you hit it, it takes 1d10 piercing, but it then explodes, and the target and every creature within 5 feet of it takes a dex save and can take more damage.
Yeah.
Spicy.
So from the you weren't particularly hidden, but from your place among the tree line, Kel, you fling this shard of ice, make a ranged spell attack against this.
Is there a difference between...
Ranged spell attack and melee spell attack are all the same, so it will be your wisdom modifier plus your proficiency added to a d20. So for you, it will be a d20 plus 7.
Yeah. Ooh. 23.
23. You know what that hits. So roll a d10 for the initial damage, which is nearly that one, the one next to it, I think.
Yeah.
That looks like a d10 to me.
8.
8 damage, so it takes 8 damage, and then makes a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC, and I think your spell save DC is 15?
Spell safety. Where would I find that? There it is. Yes, 15.
Spell save DC is 15.
Yeah.
He rolls a 16 on the die and he has a +4, so he does not take that extra cold damage. You see this shard of ice goes into him and sort of bursts, but as it bursts, it releases this cloud of kind of cold, like swirling snow and ice, and he sort of manages to avoid the worst of it. That is the archer's turn. The archer is attacking with disadvantage. They have really high dex though. Now they make the save with disadvantage because they are restrained. Oh no, it's a strength check. Their strength is not great. They're going to try anyway. They're going to try and break their way out of the web. They rolled a 12 with a +0 on the die. Does that beat your spell save DC?
No,
it doesn't. Okay, so they've used their action. They're still restrained. They've used their whole action, still restrained within the webs. And you can see them kind of trying to wrestle with it, can't get out. That is Dolly's turn. Newly alive.
I'm feeling great. The archer was the one that downed me, right?
The archer downed you and is unharmed currently, but in the web. The guy with the axe is still in the web, and 20 feet from you is the taller one who just took the ice shard.
Getting up, dust myself off, turning to the archer and be like, "You're gonna regret that. You're never leaving this forest." And cast Dissonant Whispers at level 2.
Right.
That is a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Archer has a +1. They rolled a 3 on the die. Is your spell save DC a 3?
It is not.
In that
Fully
case, it
not.
fails.
It's
In
not.
that case, it fails, you know.
So that's 3d6 psychic damage.
Okay.
He immediately must use his reaction if available to move as far as his speed allows away from me, but I don't think...
Well, the speed becomes 0
Yeah.
on restrained.
Okay.
But I will, but speed becomes 0.
That's 8 damage.
8 damage, okay.
And I'm also gonna turn to Aya and be like, "Thank you," and cast Bardic Inspiration.
Okay. So you have a roll to, you have something to add. Did you ever use yours in Delian?
No.
Can 2 people have it at once?
I mean, it's been a while since
Oh yeah,
I
it's probably
cast it, so.
yeah. Fine, we can say you never used it, gave it up after
I think
a
the
long rest.
hangover's kind of...
The hangover's really
Yeah.
yeah, she's really
Back in the game now,
She's
but
feeling-
let me
she's
tell
feeling
you,
pretty
it was-
good. She's had a tactical chunder in the woods.
Yeah.
As she saw them coming, that was why you were hiding. Was to just go, I need to get this out my system, so I'm ready for what comes next.
Yeah.
That's what Bardic Inspiration looks like.
So
red.
that is the fellow with the axe. The fellow with the axe is pretty mad and is going to recklessly attack you.
Good luck.
That means that he attacks with advantage, but concedes attacks with advantage. Given that he's already restrained, advantage doesn't stack. So essentially, he'll roll flat, but you would still have advantage on him. That's a 17 on the die, becomes a 22.
Yeah.
And he, I need one of these ones. He manages, he rolled a 1.
Good.
So he reaches up and manages to kind of, grabs his great axe, which he kind of was holding down by his side when he thought Dolly had died, and he grabs it, manages to just about shrug it free of the web, hacks it into you, and but the kind of the web lessens some of the blow, so you take 4 slashing damage from the axe. That is his turn. Radian, that is now your turn.
I need to ask, web requires concentration, doesn't it?
It does, yes. So you can't cast another spell that requires concentration, or the web will drop.
Yeah, thank you.
The web will drop.
Drop. I would say... I just need to ask a question. I have a lovely spell that I would like to use. It's called Mind Spike. Does it require concentration
It
as
will
well?
say concentration on the card if it does. Let me check, but
Thank you so much.
Normally, so if you look at...
Oh, it
if
does
you
say,
look-
yeah, it does
right.
have C, thank you. I
Okay, it has a
apologise.
C, yeah, that little C. No, not to worry.
But it says web doesn't have C.
Web definitely does require concentration, I can see it. Concentration 1 hour.
Lovely, thank you. So, yes, duration up to 1 hour from Mind Spike. That's great. Then I don't use that.
No, sure.
That's absolutely fine. What I will be doing is, why not, just for fun? I've got a brand new cantrip, and he's feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Our little old emo boy, he doesn't like the man who shot at the woman, the tiefling, I apologise, who seems to be the only person nice to him. So he casts Toll the Dead.
Right.
And so what he does is, I mean, it's almost he doesn't do anything. He doesn't move when this happens. He doesn't kind of conjure anything. It's literally just his eye turns black.
Yeah.
And what the card says is a dolorous bell. The sound of a dolorous bell fills the air around it for the moment. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d8 necrotic damage. If the target is missing any of its hit points, it instead takes 1d12 necrotic
I
damage.
love this cantrip so much. It's so cool. It's
So
so edgelordy.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, in that case, this archer, which is the one you're targeting, will make its wisdom saving throw.
Has the archer taken any damage?
Yes,
You just,
Just did it.
you just did that, was it?
Rolled a natural 2, so that's going to fail. Roll a d12.
It's a 3.
To 3. Okay, takes 3. You watch. Actually, it almost looks like you hear this. It's the sound of this bell. And you see like a shiver run through this archer. That's the kind of the way it manifests itself. You just see like there's a moment of almost horror, and then they seem somehow diminished. That is Endelian's turn. You are still right up next to Chappie with the axe.
And if there's anything I'll do. I'm running with advantage still?
You still are, yeah, they're still restrained.
That's fine. I got a 18 plus 5. So I rolled
18 plus
23.
5, 23 hits.
Yep.
So roll your damage on that.
So short sword is a d6, which will be a 2 plus 7. So just 9.
9 damage. I'm amazed that you're adding this much to your damage.
Yeah, so I'm a
kind of
d6
extraordinary.
plus 5 plus 2 proficiency.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I'm a D6 plus 5, and then I'm because I have proficiency in
it's
short
1d6
sword.
1d6
plus 5.
Wow.
Piercing, yeah.
Wow.
And then dagger.
So how much was that, sorry, on the first attack?
What did I roll? I rolled a 2 plus 7, so
Okay,
I
so
rolled
9.
And I'm rolling with advantage still, so that was, that was an 8 plus 5, so I only rolled a 13.
Hits.
Oh, amazing. Then that is a, for
One-
me, that is a
1d4
D4 plus 6 on this one, and it's a 2 plus 6, so I hit for 8.
For 8 damage, okay. This guy's looking really quite hurt.
Good.
Like that you every time that you've hit him before, you see like as he's taken this reckless attack, you see this sort of mad, like this kind of bloodlust take over his eyes, like he's sort of panting and pulling against the web, trying to free himself from these bonds. And like you see that with every hit, you're sort of like breaking some of that spirit, but he's still looking at you with wide eyes. That is the one who stabbed I. He's going to take his attacks at Dolly. I think Dolly is the closest one to it. He held it. He's going to go to Kel.
I just threw a
You just threw a shard of ice at him. He runs over to you and swings at you with the rapier. That's a 24 to hit.
That hits.
That does hit indeed. Ooh, that's 12 piercing damage with his rapier. And then he takes an attack with his dagger, which is a 14 to hit.
That hits.
That hits as well. That's another 7.
So 14 plus 7. Is that what it was?
14 plus 7, so 21 damage
Spicy.
from this guy. And you can hear him like breathing heavy through the mask. And he's going to, he doesn't have enough movement actually to, oh no, I said he was 25 feet away from you. So he's going to disengage as a bonus action and move 5 feet back without provoking an opportunity attack. Without provoking it. That is Ai's turn. You are hidden.
Yep. So I'm hidden. There are how many of them now? So
there are still 3.
there's 3 of them. We've got the one who's in the web that Indelian has been.
You've got 2 in the web.
Two.
So you've got the archer and the
archer's
axeman in the web.
Yeah.
You've got the one near Kel who is not within 5 feet of him.
Okay. The archer is not within 5 feet of anyone, but I do get advantage because he's in the web.
No, I'll start. So
Sorry.
the archer and the axeman are in the web.
Yeah. So I get advantage on him if I.
They're both restrained anyway, so you
Yeah.
get advantage anyway.
Yeah.
But in
Oh,
terms
and I'm
of
hidden anyway.
Yeah.
So-
You're hidden anyway.
Yeah.
We're overcomplicating.
Yeah,
this
I'm
between us,
massively
aren't we?
overcomplicated the fact that I'm hidden.
No, we
so-
both are. We both
Okay. Well, in that case, then I would like to. How far away from me is he?
are. Within range.
Yeah. Cool. Great.
100%.
I'd
Not
like to take a
120
shot
feet
with my
from
light
you.
crossbow.
Yeah. Which one?
With my light crossbow.
At which one?
Oh, sorry, at the archer.
At the archer.
Sorry,
Sure.
where is I right now?
So you can make the attack twice.
Yes, so 24.
24 hits, and you see, you are all suddenly aware of this like crossbow as it seems to, a crossbow bolt thudding out of the dark, just like
Once
the
again.
one that hit Dolly, but this time it thuds into the chest of the archer, and you see eye like twinkling behind a tree.
And that's a 4 on my D8 plus 5.
Okay.
And then I get
5 is
the
9,
2d6.
and you get your 2d6, yeah.
That's a 3 for the first one. And a 6 for the second.
Okay, right. These guys. That one is he's still looking pretty decent. This Dragonborn archer, but you're making inroads. You are
Okay.
making a serious dent.
So I would like to just take half my movement just slightly further back into the shadows.
Yeah.
And after once again taking a shot
Yeah.
straight in the chest, I then just go, "What was that over there?"
Roll me a stealth.
And that is 21.
Gone without a trace.
It's exhausting. Where is he now?
It's like a deadly Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
There's literally
You're
just a-
all confused children.
There's a puff of popcorn.
There's a smell of butter and caramel, and I disappears into the trees. That is Kelnis's turn. You have this one guy 5 feet from you, and the other two
He's
are
5
still-
feet from me.
Yeah, who are still ensnared by the web.
What? Who? What?
There's one guy within 5 feet of
And
you,
two
and
are
the others
still-
who are still ensnared by the web.
5 feet from me.
Yep.
How close is Dolly?
Dolly is 20 feet from you.
Okay, I'm going to cast Thunder Wave.
Okay.
Thunder Wave, I haven't done this yet.
That's cool. Nice spell.
It's a good one. Yeah. A wave of thunderous force sweeps out from you. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must take a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. On a successful save, the creature takes half the damage and isn't pushed.
Okay. What level would you like to cast that at? Because you
Level
can
1.
upcast that at level 1. Okay, so would you... What I'll say is you can choose to try and push them... They won't reach the web. They'll still be 20 foot from the web, but you could try and push them in the direction of the web.
Is that... Yeah, absolutely. I hadn't thought of that. I
Okay.
don't know why, but...
So you need to make a Constitution saving throw, and your spell save is 15.
15.
This guy has a +1 to Constitution, and he rolls a 15 on the die. So he will only take half damage, and he won't be pushed. But roll 2d8s, and he will take half of it rounded down.
Roll high.
Roll high.
7?
7.
5.
5. So he takes 6 damage, 12 damage, rounded down to 6. That is the archer's turn. The archer is going to, with disadvantage, it's already used and already tried to break free of the web, and that does not seem to be working for it. So what it's going to do is just knock an arrow and see if it can fire at Radiant. Ryan's with disadvantage. It's going to miss because it rolled a 3 on the first and it rolled a 17 on the second. So,
17?
Yeah, but it rolls a 3. It rolls with disadvantage, so it can't hit. So that becomes a 9, but I think it's still not going to be good enough to hit you. That is... it has 2 attacks, so I didn't realise that. Should have done that before. It'll take its second attack. So a 12 to hit?
No.
Okay. So it goes to fire these 2 arrows. It's almost as if, like, the web, as it reaches up, and tries to knock this arrow, the first one like thuds into the ground, almost like as it's drawing it back, the stickiness of the web sort of stops it being able to pull it back all the way to his ear. And then the second one is closer, but it like shoots into the tree line above your head. That is Dolly's turn.
Would all 3 of them be within 10 feet of each other? Right?
No.
Okay. The 2 in the web?
Yes.
Okay. So she's still not really taken in anything else apart from the archer. There's an unusual darkness in her eyes as she kind of like looks at him and just be like, die. And she's going to cast Shatter. So that's a con saving throw.
Okay. Okay, that's a 6 on the die, becomes a 9.
It's a fail. So that is...
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's 3d8 thunder damage.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And yeah, it's like there's, from her clicked fingers, there's like a tremor that racks their head with terrible pain.
And you asked if they were within 10 feet. Does that mean you can is it single creature?
Both of them. Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah,
Okay, so
sorry,
it's a 9 for the
yeah.
and then that's another 6. But what do they have? Yeah, again, so 2. They both have +3, so 2 9s. So 2 fails.
Okay, so
Shatter buddies.
yeah, that's 7, 8, 13.
13 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. You all watch as this wave of you describe it actually, Dolly. I don't know why I'm doing it for you.
Yeah. So she puts her fingers out and clicks them. There is like almost like a heat wave on a hot day on a concrete road. It's like it just ripples through the air as it like goes towards their head, and it's this ringing sound that they can hear in their head. And it's like it's just, if it's heading towards inorganic stuff, it would kind of like rumble a little bit. I don't know if they're wearing helmets, but
Yeah, they're wearing masks.
oh yeah, of course.
So you see
they're
these masks like
the masks are just like sort of
shaking.
shaking, and yeah, they're just in quite a bit of pain. I would say.
You would see that the one with the great axe like drops to one knee for a second, and then manages to like heave themselves back to their full hangers. I'm not done yet. The archer just looks like deeply worried. Starts struggling against the bonds. You can hear them panting. The kind of like surprisingly high, reedy voice for the kind of size of this broadness of this dragonborn as they're trying to get away from their bonds. That is, in fact, the guy with the great axe's turn, who is going to use his action to. He wants to get the hell out of these bonds. That is, oh my God, that is my third 6 in a row. That is a 9 to try and break free of the webs. Still not good enough.
not good enough,
That is his
sorry.
entire action. He is now like, you can see, because you're up close to him, Endelian, that like every movement is getting sluggish. It's like someone trying to run through water. You know that feeling where like every movement, it just looks like it's sapping the energy from him. If you could see the grin on the podcast. That is Radiant's turn.
Sorry, and one more question.
Yeah.
Chromatic orb.
Chromatic orb
Does that require
does
concentration?
not require
Of course
concentration, I
it
don't believe. Does it
It's
have a
instantaneous.
C in a little box
No,
on
it
it?
has no C.
Great.
Wonderful. So I would like to cast chromatic orb if that's possible.
Yes, and at whom would you like to cast it?
I'm not a fan of the ranger, so I'm
Okay.
gonna just get that boy.
Yep, at which level?
At level 1.
At level 1. Absolutely. Make a ranged spell attack.
Yeah. That is a 20.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep, you know. That's 3d8, I believe, for Chromatic Orb.
It is exactly that.
And just for flavour and fun, what kind of energy are you using?
He's feeling rather vindictive at the moment, so it's going to be acid.
Nice.
Because he wants, there's almost like this belief that maybe if I was to throw acid and he's directing at his face, he wants to get rid of the mask.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So he wants to see who's been firing at them. So he basically creates this orb,
Yeah.
obviously, in his hand, and it almost like trembles like that. And he rolls 10 damage at this person's face.
Which is how many HP this guy had. You throw it at the face, and you hear this like from behind the mask, and you can see like smoke almost coming out of the eyes and out the eye holes and the nose and the mouth, and this dragonborn like shuddering and shaking, and then slumps and would drop entirely to the floor, but that the webs kind of hold them almost suspended like a fly. Mel. Endelian. Unless you want to do anything else, unless you'd like to quit.
Go on, quip.
Go on, quit.
Quit, do it,
Quit.
do it.
You know what? He doesn't need to.
I believe I've said everything I need to with my spell.
I believe you've quipped for the both of us.
Endelian, you're going to take some attacks at Fella.
Yeah. Oh, maybe not. On my short sword, that would have been a 12.
Misses.
Then I'll go with my dagger.
It's even as these like heavy steps, it's almost that as he's being dragged down, he looks to the side, sees that his companion, the archer, has dropped, and like his head sort of sinks, and it's at that moment that you go to swing your sword over, you barely miss him. It almost like clips like a lock of this kind of shoulder-length hair off, which flies into the dark.
Same again. Roll the same.
And then you go to stab down on him with the dagger,
Right.
And he looks at, like he kind of senses the blow coming, goes over his shoulder. I mean, you're essentially giving him like a short back and sides, at this
Yeah.
point, but unfortunately not doing any damage.
He looks great, though.
He actually
Stylish.
handsome devil. That is the rapier wielding crazy fella who is going to take some more swings at Kelnis. I believe that was like when last you spoke, you were in combat. He steps 5 feet in towards you, and says, stabs in towards you with the rapier. 21 to hit. Says, "You should not have come here." That is 8 piercing damage, and then he kind of, with a flourish, goes to slice into you with a dagger. Bloody hell, he's rolling well. It's a 25 to hit. That is 7 piercing damage.
How much in total?
addition. 15.
I'm down.
You're down. You watch as Kel drops.
Nothing comforting about watching a tank go down.
No. Kelnis, just as the other Dragonborn falls, so too does your Dragonborn. Kelnis falls to the forest floor, his body limp. That is Ai's turn.
Okay. The rapier wielding, it was only Kelnis within 5 feet, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
In that case, then, I is going to take a shot at the lovely, fresh trim
Yeah.
great axe.
Yeah.
With advantage because I'm.
Avec advantage.
What a
Absolutely.
surprise.
Make your attack with advantage.
Yeah, I mean 18 plus.
Hits,
I mean,
baby.
yeah.
He's got he's a berserker. He has an AC of 13.
Yeah. So my 1d8.
Did he hit you, by the way, Radiant? Did you get damaged?
No.
Oh, yeah, because you would have had to maintain concentration. Your 1d8.
7.
7.
Plus the 5.
Stop. He's already dead.
Oh my! It's like I've been feeding a slot machine in Vegas, and I've gone to like the bathroom. It's so frustrating.
Okay. So what happens then is basically I has vanished in this puff of popcorn, taken a look around,
Butter-kissed boy.
taken
Other brands are available.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by Butter-kissed.
Not yet.
takes a look around and sees Indelian swing and swing again and sees this guy kind of happen to just perchance duck and then kind of sends the other one to move this way. And in that moment, it's an instinctive thing. It's like every part just sees the trajectory, does the math.
Yeah.
And basically...
Like a carnival game.
Yeah. And as this guy does this little half accent on then duck and dive, I just goes like this and the aims like a foot just to the side. So as he swings back
momentum.
around this way, it goes straight in the jugular. And it basically almost makes it all the way through the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But the fletching on the arrow slows it just enough so there's a tiny little bit of like feathery bit poking out
Yeah.
here. As blood just goes and splurts on Intelian's armor.
Unreal.
Sick of it.
And again, this guy like drops, like suspended in the web.
And then I want to
Hide again.
I want to, but as I would like to try and hide, I would like to shout and say, "Big scale is down."
Great. Roll me a stealth check.
That is 22.
22.
Here goes
That works.
again.
This is quite awkward for you to do it. But
Is
I
it?
think,
No,
no,
I
maybe
can
not.
come around.
I can move my little table. Would you mind coming and rolling me a death saving?
Do I need to use one of your dice?
You can use one of my dice, or you can use your own. It depends which one you trust.
Honestly, I wouldn't use
Would-
yours.
and I'm rolling a d20?
You will be rolling a
I'll
d20.
roll one of yours just for
Okay.
fun.
So I will give you a. In fact, I can
wouldn't recommend it.
give you a little select.
Leave a Yelp review.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you roll?
Yeah. So 4.
Oh no.
Okay,
No.
say nothing.
Oh ma'am.
Nothing.
No ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, no, man.
Can't say anything. Don't make a face, Doug. Don't give it away.
Reveal nothing. Give it away, Doug.
Okay. You. That is Dolly's turn.
So who's left? Where are they? What are they?
So Doug
the vibe?
is Doug, the actor Doug Cockle. He is in the forest. Geralt of Rivia himself. Down. Oh my god! Oh my god! He has kids. The tall masked man stands above the body of Kelnis, his dagger and rapier dripping blood. They are 20 feet from you. Eye is somewhere. And then
The smell of popcorn on the air.
Endelian is next to these two bodies hanging in the web. Radian is kind of off to the other side.
How hurt is the guy?
He hasn't been hit that much.
Okay. Oh, but she's taking this personal. So almost like an absent-minded thing. She's gonna cast Healing Word at Kelnis, which is a bonus action. It's 1d4 plus 4.
It's so hard to pick up.
That's 5.
5. So comes back from the darkness with 5 HP.
And then she's going to take her dagger and just try and slip it into this guy's chest.
Make an attack.
That's 17.
Just hits.
And I'm also going to expend a use. So as it kind of connects, it's going to be like, you made a big fucking mistake. And these, almost like these sort of, like shimmering purple, pink-ish sort of daggers, just for a split second, you see them also materialize and sink into this guy's chest. And that is, I believe, how many more d6? Hold on. 1 second. Hold, please, Colin.
New mechanics are exciting. People are starting to do shit, guys.
Extra 2d6.
People are really doing
damage.
shit these days.
So that is 10 damage.
10 damage. Okay. He doesn't even sort of see you coming. And he just about hears you as you make that threat. And he turns towards you, goes to block with the rapier, and you just slide the dagger into him. And he, like, you can hear behind the muffle, that sort of muffling mask go, like as he takes that damage, a more painful blow than he could have anticipated. That is Radian's turn.
So obviously the web is of no use to anyone now. So
No.
he stops concentrating and
Yep.
he turns around to this individual with the rapier, and he shouts, "Feel my pain." And he opens his mind and casts Mind Spike, in which he must make a Wisdom saving throw, or take 3d8 psychic damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
A wisdom save.
Yes,
He has
and
a +0. He rolled an 8.
what the great thing about this spell, also for future reference, on a failed save, you also always know the target's location until the spell ends,
Which is up to an hour.
but only while you two are on the same plane of existence. I believe we are. While you have this, but maybe not. While you have this knowledge, the target can't become hidden from you, and if it's invisible, it gains no benefit from that condition.
That's very cool.
But it doesn't matter because it's about to feel the entire amount of pain that Radian feels.
Such pain.
It's-
Such pain. You could fill, and he almost certainly has, volumes of poetry books.
Yeah.
Dear Diary.
Yeah. I
Another
write
day
to you.
living, if that's what they call it.
That's exactly it. All of his teenage angst you are feeling in one.
Wake him up inside. He can't wake up.
It's not that much pain though. It's it's only 8 damage.
Okay. He turns to you, sees this, like, suddenly senses a little bit of their pain, of your pain, and just goes, "Oh my god!" like there's a sense that he almost pities you, like, "Oh my god, like every day you do that every day." That is Endelian's turn.
I'll try with a longbow this time, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Why the
Let's
hell
see
not?
what
Sheathe the
happens. I don't
things,
do a lot with this.
pull this longbow off over your shoulder, knock an arrow.
And that will be a 21.
Yeah, that hits, that does actually hit.
So longbow for me is a D8
Plus,
plus 2.
Okay.
Plus 2.
great, roll your D8.
Which one's the D8?
The diamond, the like classic
Yeah.
classic
There
diamond.
it is. Oh, that.
This tray does not like
I don't
keeping
like
dice.
Yeah, I don't. This tray. This is a hand-me-down tray. Sorry, partner. So that is a 4 plus 2, so it hits for 6.
Okay, he's not looking good. This guy, like, the tide has turned. It's not looking good. He's going to turn to you, Dolly. He says, "Shadow will flood." And he is going to disengage as a bonus action and dash off into the woods. He moves 60 feet into the woods.
He's so upset.
That is Ai's turn.
Okay.
You can track him. He's not. I mean, he's just running.
Okay. You know what I'm going to do.
Tell me.
From my hidden point,
Yeah.
I'm going to see this, and I'm going to take a shot with
See if
my
you can
light
sink
crossbow.
one into his back.
Yes.
Roll me an attack. Did you hide at the end of your
Yeah.
last turn? Yeah, so roll with advantage.
Okay, so that is 14.
Misses. You see as...
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Oh no, because I don't know where I is.
No, you've just seen him.
Yeah.
Because I also know where he is at all point. Because I've got Mind Spike on him, I know exactly where he is.
Absolutely you do.
So can I assist him, and could he roll with advantage?
He already did,
Oh, he did.
but I tell you what, like I has enough speed that I'm gonna say, how would he get away? He doesn't know he's been mind spiked, man. Here's how this is gonna work. We're gonna essentially do a chase. You both are capable. He also has dash as a bonus action. He is not a wood elf, so he doesn't have a faster movement speed than you. You both have 90 feet of movement per round. So essentially you could stay directly behind him for a spell. Let's do best of 3. Just rolling dexterity saving throws. Seeing who can whether you make any ground up on him. Okay, so let's roll. Have a roll off. He has a +4 and he rolled a 15 on the die, becomes a 19.
18 plus my 5.
Okay, so that's 1 success. You need a second success. This next one, he rolls an 8, which becomes a 12.
8, but plus my 5.
Okay, you find yourself as he's dashing through the woods with Radiant going as fast as you can behind, calling out to you where he is each time. He's heading north, and you take the turn, and you can still hear his footsteps. He's just careering through the bracken, and you see his back open up before you. This is not with advantage.
advantage, yeah.
You can roll an attack at him.
15 plus my 7, so that's 22.
Hits.
Okay, and it's just 1d8 plus 5. That's a 6, so that turns into an 11.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so this moment opens up. Radiant, what do you call out?
Kill him.
And tiny, just brief window, brings up the crossbow, fires, and I would like to, basically, this bolt flies through, and it hits right between the lower ribs, and you just hear the sound of, as air leaves.
The old Christopher Lee stabbed in the back.
Yeah. With this arrow that I had spent a little bit of his time threading popcorn around it. There's this popcorn around the shaft of this arrow, straight into the back, and this dude hits the deck and just slumps.
Yeah.
Is he just immediately?
Unless, you've just described that you wanted to hit him in a lethal way. Are you trying to, if you want to try and interrogate him, I'll let you roll a luck check on anything over a 10. You have 6 seconds worth of conversation.
Okay.
You can add that.
I know my
You can
bardic.
add the bardic
I take my
on something
bardic.
like
So
this.
what do I roll for luck?
So just a raw D20.
Just a raw- okay, yeah.
You need to roll over a 10.
13.
Okay, so save your bardic.
Yeah.
You get to his body and he's trying to breathe in air, but with each one it's getting more and more ragged.
Okay. I still have this mask on.
Yeah.
And I would like to ask in this moment, where is the others?
I don't know.
Who sends you?
Roll me persuasion with disadvantage. You just killed him, so I think he probably knows you're not a member.
Yeah. Okay. That's a nat 20 and a 7.
Okay, he says, those who send us all. And then the air leaves his body, and he's dead.
Okay. How far away from the others am I? Are they?
You at this point would be like 180 feet away.
Okay, cool.
Like you've run 60 yards into the forest. Like you've really booked it.
I would like to search his body for any kind of messages, anything that he might have which might reveal any information about
Okay,
him.
roll me an investigation check.
That's a 14.
Okay, you find on him a pouch with 15 gold, and you find a note sort of scratched into parchment, and it said, can you read Common?
No.
Okay, it has markings on it.
Wait, hold on. Let me just confirm.
You
this,
can
actually.
speak Common.
I don't-
I think that we have spoken before about kobolds having no written language. I don't think it's reasonable to think you can
I mean,
read
it says
Common.
language is
proficiently.
common. I don't think I can.
Yeah, but I think that's spoken.
Yeah, I think
that's
the only
spoken.
thing maybe that I could read would be thieves can if it's like in like symbols.
It's not written in thieves' can.
No.
The good news is I'm probably running towards you.
Yeah. Okay. So not in any kind of way to try and deceive anyone. I just pocket the gold.
Yeah.
But not in like a I'm pocketing this. Just
Yeah,
in a
you need to take it
boom.
with you, yeah.
And then I take this note. And I would like to, just before reading her eyes, I'm staring at this face, trying to absorb as much information about what this dude looks like, just while I wait for Radiant
You remove
to
the
arrive.
mask.
Yeah.
Okay. And you are looking at a red-skinned tiefling with black hair. Short, like close-cropped black hair.
Okay. And I just stare to take in all these details while I wait for Radiant to catch up.
Okay. Radiant, you arrive as eye is over the body of what you now see is a red-skinned tiefling.
Yeah. And the first thing that Radiant does, very almost reluctantly, is he says to I, good job.
And I looks up and goes,
I sees you.
Did you find anything?
I hand the note over and I says, I in a kind of awkward kind of,
I does not know.
And it's a note that says, written in common, it says, Camino. C-A-M-I-N-O. Camino. Write the message on the mural. Return to the forest and wait. We will, the water will soon rise.
okay, as Radiant reads it, I goes,
What it says.
I obviously then relay everything that was
so
said.
taking this in, I go,
They said of a message. They said of a message.
and I says, come. And I want to start making my way back to where these
Mm-hmm. Roll me an investigation check with advantage, Radiant, as you go to put that letter in your pack.
That's 24.
You put your letter in the pack and your hand touches the deck of cards. And you hear as you open it,
Yeah, I
whisper.
immediately shut it.
shut it straight away.
While those two have been gone, Dolly's approached the. They're still suspended in the
They're
web?
still, yeah. Well, the web actually has now
Dissipated.
because of mind spike.
So
Great
she's-
use of mind spike, by the way, Norman. Save that for the action session.
So she's kind of like approached these two, kind of kicked the archer
Yeah.
over, and kind of just goes and stares at the acid splash mask, and then kind of rips it off, tucks it into her jacket, and
Yeah.
then is going to search both of them.
Great.
for-
Roll me
yeah.
investigation checks. I'll say that what you get for free is, 3 cloaks, 3 masks if you want them.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you get?
13.
13. Okay. You find a pouch on one with 8 and a pouch. So you find 19 gold across these 2 pouches. That's all you find. Like, they seem to have been if they have a camp, this is, like they're away from it. So it's literally just what they have on their person. So it's weapons. It's weapons. It's some gold. It's maybe like a bit of jerky or like a crust of bread.
Lembas.
Some non-trademark lembas. Lombos. Could we get away with like lombos? Yeah. And then you see Radian and I return to the clearing, specifically not to the clearing, return to the site of the battle.
I'll pocket the other mask. You take the one.
And I immediately turn to Radian and I says, shows them, tells them, come. And I start to lead everyone towards where their little encampment was, and sort of trying to say like,
yeah. So you lead them towards the encampment.
I would like to, before as I arrive, would like to just sort of...
Yeah, so roll me a stealth check. We'll just roll it with advantage, because this is now very familiar. Okay, cool, so just roll flat. You silently make your way there. There's no other signs of life. You see the fire is still burning, and there are sort of like packs and bedrolls.
Okay, so I would like Radiant to relay as we sort of approach this.
I think they were waiting for someone. They were waiting for someone. And then I'll hand the message. You can every single person can read it if they want.
The mural. I think they might have just come from Baruun.
Roll history with advantage, Dolly.
14.
14. Okay,
Twice.
Baruun is a 3-tiered city. It's a great city encased by a circular wall, and there are 3 levels to it. There is this level known as the Deal, which is the kind of trading level where all the manufacturing happens in the sort of semi-dark. And there is a great central staircase that leads you up to the level called the that's called the Depths, and then it leads you up to the Deal, which is where most people live, and it's the kind of markets and the bazaars and stuff. And you remember that at the base of the circular staircase is this mural. It's a sort of painted, carved stone relief of the virtuous. So you certainly know there's a mural in or a mural or similar in Baruun.
Yeah, I'm going to say that there's a mural in Baruun about the virtuous. I think word's already traveled.
You heard what he said before he fled. The shadow will flood.
I would like to scout the packs that are remaining around the fire.
Okay, so roll me investigation with advantage, because I think that you guys are all kind of, well, unless someone specifically doesn't want to look through stuff.
No, we're rolling.
So you
for
can
it.
just let I roll with advantage on behalf of the party.
That first one was
It's
cocked.
cocked, yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
That's a 7.
Okay, 7. Other than like standard bedroll stuff, you find black paint and a big paintbrush.
Just hold it up and go,
They were waiting for someone.
yeah, and then I go and point at the fire.
Question is, do we want to wait too? I don't know that we do.
No, I point to the fire and I says,
I think maybe we should sort this.
Wait. There were 3 of them. Dragonborn, tiefling, and a berserker.
A human berserker.
Human berserker. A tiefling, a dragonborn, and a human. We have 3 masks. We have 3 cloaks. I say we carry out the plan and we wait in the shadows.
and I hold in the paint, just goes,
Oh, I likes this.
This could be an awful, awful plan.
Yeah,
Obviously, I'm up for it.
Part of me is going, why? Like,
Why not? We're in this deep.
we're not in deep. This isn't us. Like, this isn't ours. Like, we just defended you.
I'm still bleeding.
Oh yeah, you have like 5 HP.
I healed you.
I know, it's
5
good.
HP, which is all he's got.
Okay, great. So, in order to convince you of the plan, I take out my potion of greater healing and I hand it to you and I say, drink this
get strong. This is important. I don't know. There's something in my mind. When I was in that person's mind, I felt something.
Roll me
It'll be convincing.
persuasion or deception. Don't tell us which.
19.
Okay, everyone roll insight against that. And Delian?
I only got a 7.
Kel?
7.
14.
14?
Not one.
Now one.
We have no insight.
So yeah, as far as you're concerned, Radiant, say what you sensed.
I was in his mind and I thought I was giving him my pain, but there was something else inside there. An obsession, this passion, this desire, this danger. There are not just 3 people, there are many like them. This can't be just coincidence. We go to the top of this mountain, we touch these orbs, the shadow will flood. None of us have heard this before, and then we hear it again.
There were only 3 of them,
Oh no.
but there are only 5 of us, and there could be many more coming.
I personally haven't seen a single second in any of these fights.
Moves like a flick book, the guy.
And I'm no slouch myself in the shadows. We will watch you from behind. Make sure you're safe. I say we wait here, you put on these masks, you put on these robes, and you do your best performance you've ever done.
Performance is my thing.
I have -1 charisma.
I don't have anything.
Why don't you let me do the talking?
I looks at Radiant and goes, puts down the paint and goes, I sees you.
I'm game if you 2 are.
Gotta be at this stage.
Yeah. They made that personal. I say we return the favor.
Okay.
So the 5 of you, under the canopy of the forest, with the fire still burning, sit and wait. And that's where we'll...
So you put your notebook away.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. That was episode 4.
Wow.
Episode 4 of our adventures in Reliquiae. You can head over. Next week will be our post show, which we are going to record right about now. So until then, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time for more adventures in the world of Reliquiae. D&D, baby! Yay!